Okay, welcome back to NelCapital Talks. This is podcast number 2. Today we have JP van Zyl, a longtime friend, business owner, motivational speaker to me.
Motivational speaker to you.
And homeboy.
Homie.
Yeah, JP, welcome to NelCapital Talks.
Thank you for having me, Dealbreakers.
I believe today's topics is
We've
sex, money, life.
Yeah, this is going to be sex, money, life. Just talking about everything.
And maybe a bit of prime.
Anything and everything.
I think we're going to start today's podcast with we each have a quote of the day, and then maybe a bit of prime review.
We're going to do a prime review.
Yeah.
We're going to start off with a quote of the day.
Yeah. So, okay.
And
do you want to go first?
We're going to elaborate on the topics. So let's do a prime taste test first.
Okay. So
and then, because we're going to elaborate on the topics of the quote of the day.
Okay. So what we have here is the tropical punch flavor, right? And just to clarify, you've had ice pop.
So I've had the ice pop. That's the only thing I've had. You've had the blue one.
Yeah, I had blue and then I had ice pop. So it's going to be a first for tropical punch.
This is why we selected the tropical punches, because both of us
also we couldn't find any other.
Have never had the red one.
Yeah,
the tropical punch.
We couldn't find the green one or the yellow one. I don't think the yellow's out in South Africa. The white one I want to try.
The Checkers stores are like the Checkers in Canal. Yeah. They only have the ice pop.
Yeah.
The one we were at, it was weird because it had the ice pop and the red one. And you said last time the one you were at had the blue one.
No, they only had ice pop. I had the blue. I had the blue one in America.
Oh, the blue one was
but the ice pop there. That's the only one they had in Checkers.
And what Checkers was that one?
In Franschhoek.
In Franschhoek.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's
3, 2, 1. Let's hear the crack.
Oh, that's crispy. All right. Cheers. Oh. Cheers. I was not wrong.
Damn.
I was not wrong.
Why? What do you mean?
So on our way here, we also had prime, but we had like ice pop. And I told JP, my prediction is it's going to taste very similar to ice pop.
It actually doesn't for me.
For me, it tastes like...
I think it's the coconut, you know? That aftertaste is the
initial taste.
The basic components. But the initial taste...
It's the same for me. Like they all taste good so far. The blue one, ice pop. This one tastes Gucci.
Do you know what this one tastes like to me? It tastes like the ice pop, and this one has similar like foundations in terms of the components they use.
Yeah.
But the flavoring itself, not the aftertaste, but the before taste almost. It tastes like Tropica, my bro. Tropica, the red one. You know the...
Yeah, I just don't think Tropica is like...
The pinkish red one. Not a lot.
No, I just don't think Tropica's sweetness, like that sweetness thing, stays in your mouth as long.
Yeah.
This one stays quite a bit.
That's what it tastes like to me. What does it taste like to you? Like what? It almost tastes like a childhood flavor almost.
No, man, it's ice pop prime. That's what it is.
Okay, so for you it's ice pop prime. For me it's like a Tropica.
So far the blue one was like kind of the only one that tasted different. So
okay, we messed around with prime long enough now.
Yeah.
Our whole intro was just prime now.
Yeah. Do you think the camera's recording? I know this one is.
Do you think I should go check?
I want to check this one.
Okay,
I'm quite unsure.
Okay. Diava, start us off with the quote of the day. What's your quote of the day? Okay. What resonated with you today?
All right. So from what I saw on Google Images, this was the one that didn't make me sound stupid.
Okay.
Or I don't think I sound stupid.
This was the quote that you sort of asked Google for.
Yeah. So Google told me, or the quote that came up was, "Dead people receive more flowers than the living, because regret cuts deeper than..." What's the word? I forgot the word. But it's like similar to appreciation.
What regret cuts deeper than what? I can't remember.
It's something similar to appreciation, but like
then like admiration almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, appreciation could be like.
Regret cuts deeper than
admiration, appreciation.
Yeah, no, it's almost like appreciation, but it also starts with an R.
It's still the wrong word. Almost.
It's still the wrong word.
It's gonna bother you. We can circle back.
Yeah, we'll
if
get
you
back
remember.
To it. What's your? You've got.
Was that your quote that you're gonna use?
That was my quote of the day.
Was that the Google one?
Well, that was the Google Images quote. Yeah.
It is true, bro. Like, people do receive more flowers in death than in life.
Yeah, because people are like, fuck.
But
I fucked up, and then flowers.
yeah, because they're like, well, they're gone now. Humans always want what they can't have. They want that person back now, so they appreciate them more. They give them flowers instead of in life. But I think flowers is also a symbol for just any gesture of kindness. Like, people don't really do gestures of kindness to their friends and like all of them, because everybody has stuff going on in their own lives and they're also just busy, whatever. There are exceptions, obviously, but most people.
You've received flowers before? Like,
have I received?
Has any one of your partners or like lady friends ever been like, JP,
here's some flowers for you?
Or just like a flower, just like a flower.
Here's a flower. To be honest, I don't think so. What about you?
I think about once or twice.
What, like a rose for Valentine's Day?
No, literally like someone picked a flower and then they just like put it behind my ear. I was like, here's a flower for you. Yeah. I will say when I shoot weddings, like I usually get the bouquet and then I hold the bouquet. I'm like, I've got
but
the
then
flowers.
You get the bouquet.
And then I've got to give it back, so it's not my flowers. But
Okay. My quote of the day, you went deep with life.
I don't want to sound like I'm such a shallow.
Yeah, of course, bro. Now I'm going to go deep with like sort of just a different type of life. I'm just trying to think. My quote of the day is this: if you really want to win in life, you have to fall in love with losing.
And that's true.
You see?
That's true.
Like, that is why, like, people aren't getting where they want to be. Is they just want to win, but you need to lose in anything to win.
I believe that also forms part of like staying consistent. To be
Of
like shit, I failed or I lost at, lost in quotes at like whatever I'm doing, but I've now learned this from losing, so I know as I pursue it forward, like I'm not gonna do that again.
And that ties in with literally everything you've always been hearing, every cliche little quote like, oh yeah, no pain, no gain. In the gym you have to take it to failure. You have to like just mess up to be able to see that you messed up, and then to learn from it. And the same with like losing in life.
Speaking about gym, I was gonna make a joke about like train and all that shit. But obviously you in the fitness industry.
Yes, I'm in the fitness industry.
You worked out all my training plans and stuff. What are your thoughts on all the social media stuff going around, being like, aware, trend, bold?
The social media, the trend memes.
Like, for example, do you think it's bad, or do you think like if used wisely, it's beneficial and it's
steroids now? Are we going to talk drugs now, like anabolics?
Well, it depends. I think trend, just because everyone's like, trend.
Here's the thing, but
and I don't have any knowledge on trend.
Trend it's like we discussed earlier. It's one of those topics of conversation, but it should not even be a topic of conversation, because it's one little component that has been focused on, that has been blown up, but it's just blown up for the meme, but it's not like, it has no context. So the thing about trend, like you asked me, the question is trend good or is it good? What's the effects and whatever. Like the thing is with anabolic steroids, I'm a natural athlete. I've been a natural for 6 years now. I've been training.
Yeah, you've come very far.
I've trained enhanced athletes. I still train enhanced athletes, which is what we call athletes on anabolics, on PEDs. It's my personal decision to stay away. It's their personal decision to take it. They know the risks. They run it if that's what they want for their life, So the thing about anabolics is you can't just take an anabolic and expect to see results. You're maybe going to see marginals because your body's not used to it, and it's going to respond to a certain level. It's the same with like food. Like if you start eating more, you're going to gain weight. But if you're not going to eat more than that, you're only going to gain a certain amount of weight. And then you're going to plateau. Now the thing with what these athletes do, and depending on the sports as well, is they make cocktails, bruh. and they have full on teams and doctors and like all of these anabolic doctors behind them, giving them the perfect cocktails for whatever it is they want to achieve, whether it's size, whether it's performance, like, and this is in any sport, any high performance sport athlete, like this is what happens in the sport. Most of them are on the edge, but that's why the playing field is also equal, because everyone, you know, you're not going to get to the top of the world. You are naive to think you're going to get to the top of the world with people that are on the edge, and you're not going to get there.
Do you think when it comes to like steroids and stuff, and now obviously certain people like reach their peak performance without steroids, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that once they reach their peak, like their body just like they don't like for example, before I finish, like the body doesn't want to give more, like that's it, like the body's at its peak. Do you think if they then take steroids, the body like the body will be like, fuck yeah, let's go, and the body will like give more? Or do you think it'll be like a short-term thing and then it's just gonna fall off?
Hell no, their body will respond if they do it properly. This is all if their training is on par, if their protocol is on par, and if their nutrition is on par with the cocktail and with the protocol that they're taking, then their body will 100% respond. The flip side is if they let's say there's two scenarios. They reach their limit. Both of them reach their limit naturally, whether it's performance or size. And this one is still doing everything properly, because you need to do everything properly to be able to reach your limit. You know, you maxed out everything. You know, level 100 character. Like,
fair enough,
you beat the final boss naturally.
And then the steroids like the
but
cheat
this
code.
one is like messing up everything. His training's not on par, nutrition. He might take the same protocol as the other one. The other one's following everything to the T. This one is actually gonna, you know, respond. So 100% yes, you're gonna respond if it's that case. Because here's how testosterone works. Here's how anabolics work. You as a natural athlete, you can do natural things to boost your testosterone naturally, but it will always only take your test to 100%. That is it. So if you have a testosterone deficiency and you do stuff and you eat foods, nutrition, you improve your habits, everything that increases testosterone, it will only cap at 100%. It cannot go further than that, you know. With anabolics, it's going to increase 1,000%, because that's what you're injecting into your body. Or you're taking whatever oral, you're taking whatever injection you're taking. That's going to be numbers of 1,000% plus. This is just obviously exaggeration. This is just, that's not factual. Like, it's going to be 1,000%. But this is just to give you the concept of like how it works.
So based off of that concept, am I then correct in saying the reason most people have like long-term side effects when they get off steroids is because, or like anabolics, for example, it's like their testosterone level has been pushed to this all-time high. Now they get off of it. Now the body, for example, tries to fill it naturally, but the body can only go to 100%. So now you've got this extra gap of, I don't know, X percentage that was always filled with testosterone or like anabolics that's now gone, but the body's used to it. Do you think that's why people's muscles start failing and shit? Because they're like,
because
dude, I'm stupid. So like, I'm just trying to.
I understand. I'm trying to grasp what you're saying. Just trying to let you talk and get that topic out. 100%. The thing is, but it's different with different compounds. Like, it's not always just going to be testosterone.
Sorry.
I'm gonna explain how the test specifically, but it's also like with other compounds. If you look at orals,
sorry, the blinds are not going to be like.
Should I lower the blinds?
I'm asking for you because the sun is like quite hot and it's obviously.
When it's going to be in my eyes, I'll probably do something about it. So with regards to stuff, it's not just your taste. It's everything. It's everything. It's your organs. You know, it's your heart. Yeah. It's like your other hormones. It's your whole endocrine system, which is the system of the hormones and the glands, bro. That whole thing is going to be dysfunctional. You know, because what you're putting in is not. It's unnatural. You know, you like messing up the chemical imbalances, like testosterone specifically. It's going to get used to a certain level of test. Your testes is going to stop producing testosterone because your body picks up everything. You know, it's going to pick up when you have enough testosterone in your body. Testes is going to shut down production, but it's going to get used to that, and it's going to affect and damage long term. So when you 50, you climb off because now you're done. You're not doing shows anymore. You're not performing as an athlete. It's obviously going to be before 50. Some bodybuilders still go to 50, but let's just say 50 for the sake of it. and then you'll need to be on testosterone replacement therapy forever, because your test will never return to normal levels, because you've been on gear so long and your body's been used to not producing for so long, because you've been injecting that is just not going to work, and it's going to be affected by that as well, you know.
Okay, so we've talked about this now, and I think we should get onto the topics of, you know, sex, money, life.
Sex, money.
So I'm going to use this opportunity as to
piggyback,
as a segue to transition to sex and whatever that topic's going to contain.
Sex and money.
Do you think that once at 50 years old, when a man...
Oh shit. At 58? What at 50, Diablo? What you trying to do?
Like, obviously the man's testes are no longer producing testosterone.
Oh yeah?
Do you think...
do I think what?
Does he then become female?
Does he become a female?
Like transgender or something?
No, I don't think
I'm joking.
so.
Yeah, like,
What, as a meme? As a meme, he's a beta. That's a beta male right there.
he's falling off of his sigma shit.
That's not an alpha or sigma anymore. No, but like, in reality, no.
Yeah.
Because it's about the estrogen as well.
Yeah.
To be a female, you need high estrogen, and obviously every other biological component as well. You know, this is gonna. Are we gonna get into?
No,
are we gonna get into the
like,
transgender community right here?
Like, I don't know. Like, we're back on that, but we kind of spoke about certain topics this morning in regards to, like, I don't want to say sex, but like relationships.
Yeah.
Certain what you call it? I don't want to say. Like,
tell me. Heartbreak. Heartbreak.
That is a deep topic. So, but we spoke about like relationships, about one night stands, about not being in any of those things in terms of like.
Wait, do you want to speak about that now?
No, just anything in general. But I mean, we need to transition into this topic.
Oh, I actually wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you what your opinion was on transgenders. Where do you stand? Like, truthfully, what do you believe, and where do you stand with this whole community?
If you walk into this room,
yes,
you were born JP male.
Yes.
You walk into this room, you show me, or you show me like, bro,
I'm hung. Look at me.
No, I have no dick. I have gotten surgery. I have a vagina.
Yeah.
Transgender. Fine.
Okay.
If you come in here, I wear JP, boosgroot, normal, like you are now, and you be like, I wear, bro, I'm a girl. Fuck no.
No, but
that's my personal opinion.
okay, but what if the first person asks you or tells you, I'm a girl? Are you gonna think it's a girl?
No. But
Why?
I will then respect you in saying you fall within that transgender category because you've now changed your gender.
Oh, yeah, but that goes without saying. When you, anyways, just a different gender than what you're saying you are already a transgender. Doesn't make sense.
No, but if I'm sitting
you are
here,
already classified as a transgender.
if I'm sitting here with a dick
person.
and balls,
yeah,
and I tell you, oh wait, I'm a girl.
Yeah, that makes you.
I'm a female. No,
that makes you transgender. That doesn't make you a female in my eyes, obviously.
Yeah.
But you are a transgender most now because you believe you.
But what is a trans man? It's someone who identifies as the opposite sex.
Of course, yeah.
But you can't identify as the opposite sex if you don't have.
Listen, this is not the topic. You didn't.
That's my opinion.
That's
like
I know, but
okay. Well, sorry, that's what I'm basing my answer off of.
No, but that's not the question.
Okay, what's the question?
Remember, we're not discussing what a transgender person is. We both know what they are.
Okay, are you asking me what's my opinion on?
Yes, I'm asking you. This is a transgender person,
right?
Ne? This is not a guy comes. Are you gonna believe he's a transgender person? I'm asking. Are you gonna believe he's a girl as he says he is?
Well, no. But biologically, no.
Of course. Why?
Because he wasn't born of a different gender. He doesn't have the.
Of course.
He doesn't have the. I don't want to call it assets, but I want to call it like he doesn't have the. Not ligaments. The attachments, for fuck's sake.
The attachments.
Of the opposite sex. He's not born with breasts.
The genitalia.
Yeah, he's not born with breasts, estrogen.
He doesn't have the reproductive organs of a female.
Yes.
But even the ones that do, You know why the transgender discussion is always so touchy? Because the people think that the people who don't believe, here's something, the people think that the people who don't believe, if someone came up to me and said, I'm a girl or I'm a guy, but they're not, they're like, the guy says he's a girl and I don't believe him, they think that we disrespect them. I would still respect someone, you know, respect in the way that I'm not gonna.
You treat them as a normal human being.
I'm not gonna attack you. I'm gonna treat you normal. You still normal.
Of course.
Unless you change I change my mind about you because you being like, you know, cuck towards me.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna treat you cuck, but I'll treat anyone cuck, even if it's a normal person. I'll treat you cuck regardless of who you are. If you treat me cuck, I'm gonna treat you like normal before I judge you.
That's what I agree with you on. So sorry. So if you, for example, if you walk in and you tell me, "Oh wait, I'm a girl," I'll be like, "Cool, bro.
Cool.
Let's talk." You know,
like your opinion is.
But the moment you start enforcing that belief on me,
of course,
I'll be like, "Fuck you, no."
Yeah.
And I think because
I will not force my belief on you.
Yeah.
I'll think it in my mind. I'm not going to be like, yo, but you know that actually, I'm not going to go and attack you now for being a transgender. I'll still respect you. I'm not going to force you. You're not going to force me.
Yeah, you're still a person.
We have a mutual agreement, you know?
Of course.
Like, that's the thing. That's why it's so sensitive. Because it's the extremes of that community. They always take offense to everything. Like, here's the thing about the transgender community and every community out there. Any ethnicity, community, stance, is always the extremes that mess it up for the rest of them. The extremes make the most noise and bring out the most negativity they like. And they get like coverage, you know, because they make the most noise. And then everybody bases their opinion off the community, off of that.
Off of what social media enforces.
Meanwhile, like, the people who are just normal, who don't make noise, who's like actually okay, they're like fine, like it's fine, we just want to be left alone, like we just want equal rights. We don't want this whole drama cuck and to attack people and whatever. They suffer now as well, because then the other radicals, like the people, like even the people who don't believe in all this cuck and who's like us, but they're also the toxic nayers, like they make us look bad now again. So then it's this whole power struggle this whole time. You misogynistic, toxic masculinity, because it is the misogynistic, toxic masculinity from our side that is making us look up. Meanwhile, we all just, the ones that are normal, we just chilling, you know, we don't want beef. But then it's always the extremes that beef with each other. And then sometimes that filters down.
Of course.
And then the other people base their opinions off of that.
Something I want to add on to this is a discussion I had with someone on the ships, right? And this is what I got a lot of hate for on Disney.
Oh yeah. You want to talk about Disney now?
Not necessarily Disney, but like just something that happened, right? I was in an elevator with a bunch of girls and they were talking about guys being bi and women being bi and all that.
Yes.
Do you think a man can be bisexual?
Yeah.
I don't.
Why?
If you suck dick, you're gay.
But
listen, wait, let me enforce it quickly. Listen, wait.
What, are you asking for the meme or in reality?
No, like in reality, this is what I believe and I agree with that meme.
Why?
Right? Because as let's say you're born a woman, right? Biologically, you need to take a dick.
You need to what?
You need to take a dick.
Yeah.
But wait. So if you choose to not take the dick and just fuck with some girl, that's cool because that's a choice, right?
Yeah.
You can choose that. But as a man, or a male, or a he,
him,
like, you can't be bi. If you suck dick, you're gay. No,
you can be bi.
No.
Yes.
Because why would you do the biological right thing, and then
this whole thing is anyways unnatural. Like nothing is going.
Yeah.
Nothing is for biology, so you can't even like that goes without saying. It's not natural. Like we all know, it's not like a secret that biologically male female conception, like intercourse. If you obviously, but then people think about bisexuality is they like girls and they like guys. So they're not just gay. They are gay, but they're also they're bisexual.
But that's my thing.
the fact that they like men makes them gay, but they don't classify as gay because they don't just like men. They like women as well. That's why they're bisexual.
Agreed. Still gay.
Like It doesn't matter.
Look, I have no problem with gay people. I've got friends who are gay, and I have lady friends who are lesbian, right? Or they bi, right? No
Yeah,
disrespect. It's the same thing as.
The sun is bothering me.
All right, you
Let
can
me
take
just
it. I'll
move
keep talking because you can hear me, but I'll keep talking. It's the same thing as with, like what we spoke about transgenderism. Like, we're not going to treat any of them different. You know, just obviously don't enforce your own shit. Like, I believe that is very dark. It's just like, yeah, man, I don't know. I think people take it too far in terms of, the sun is still going to hit you in the face eventually. I just think people take it too far, man. Like, we can sit here and we can joke about this, but what happened is I was in this elevator with this bunch of girls on our way down from like the top deck, and they were talking about this one guy just like Snapchatting his dick to random people.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, this and that. And then obviously that's when it was like just before that I saw this meme of like the video that said like men can't buy, like if you suck dick you gay, right? It's a meme.
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
Yeah,
like,
so
it doesn't make logical sense.
So I'm in the elevator and the girl's like, yeah, no, but he says he's gay, but then I see him with this girl and that girl, and then I just went.
He's just indecisive.
Yeah, and then I just went like, no. If he sucks dick, he's gay. And they turned around and it looked like I got the fucking death stare.
Of course, bro, you're gonna trigger these people.
But it's like, listen, here we can talk about it, and if any of my female friends were here, like they would laugh about it, right? Because we know it's a joke.
Yeah.
But in America, it gets taken so
of course,
seriously.
Bro, it's America.
Like, we can't even like now we can talk about transgender and we can give our opinion.
Yeah.
There, it's like, bro, fired immediately.
Yeah, but you know, Cape Town is turning into that
like
as well.
I just want to check your camera, but no questions asked, bro.
Like, Cape Town is becoming so woke, bro.
Yeah, actually, that's bright.
It's like concerning, but not like it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. Because it's good for the good parts of wokeness and inclusiveness, but it's bad for the bad parts.
Yeah, that camera's gonna die, but that's okay.
That's fine.
We have the big one. We have the big boy, the big G.
So yeah.
What are your thoughts on respect and stuff in relationships? Like, obviously it's not just like okay, I respect you, but like subtle thing. You know, there's like you've got respect and then you have subtle respect. Like in the way you treat people or your actions. Or
define subtle respect.
Oh fuck, man, we're gonna get into relationship stuff here.
Yeah, come define subtle respect.
So
what do you mean? Then I can elaborate on the topic.
So like subtle respect is like, let's say we have an argument, right? Yeah. And we were like, okay, you know what? We have this issue. We're gonna work on it, right? Mm-mm. So next time we see each other, we're gonna try and be, I don't want to say work, but try and be like conscious of the way we communicate, for example.
Yeah.
And then we meet up, and then you try. But I don't. But like, I don't even notice, like, I'm not like, it's just like that. It's like we've addressed an issue and then me or you doesn't like actually, you know, consciously make an effort to work on that issue.
But is that respect though?
I find it.
I don't think it is.
I find it.
It's a different thing, but it's not.
I find it falls into the, I call it it's like subtle disrespect, because it's like, because if you respected me as a person, you would have made it a priority in that mind space to like actively work on it.
See, I don't think that it is disrespect. I do believe subtle disrespect is a thing, but I don't think that particular thing that you described is tied with respect.
It's a broad example.
I thought subtle disrespect would be something like someone like in a normal relationship. Yeah. Subtle disrespect would be someone that's like your girl chatting with multiple guys. Not necessarily that there's anything happening, but these guys, like, you know, she's a smart girl. She's not stupid.
Yeah.
She knows like most of them.
I mean, we know
let's
how
say,
we act.
Let's say these group of guys, let's just say for the sake of the stories, let's say these group of guys, they want Musna to get in her pants. And she knows this because she's a smart girl. She's not stupid. It would be subtle disrespect for her to then continue to entertain these guys See, that's what I feel a subtle disrespect is.
Yeah, it's good.
That sounds like there's a word for that. That's just someone not being like...
Because she
they
knows
can't-
she's not supposed to be doing it, but she like kind of, she treats you with respect, but when she doesn't have to, she will still do.
You see, that's the thing. When you can get someone... Like, that's always a thing.
Yeah.
This, like, in person, they can be like, however, with you,
Yeah.
but behind your back. You know, if they can respect you behind your back, you know, that's green flags. Red flags is when they can't, like, they talk about, like, bad about you, you know, stuff like that. I never sit well with people who talk about their partners behind their back, but, like, their problems.
And I don't.
You know?
I also don't think like if you can talk. So like if you want to talk behind my back, that's fine. But at least then be able to go on a podcast and say the same shit where it's public, or at least be able to say it in front of me.
No, I just don't believe in talking behind people's back, because now you know that homie's a snake.
Of course.
You know, they're going to do it with you too. You know, this person who talks back about their chummy or their spouse or their whatever, they going to do.
And the thing is,
it goes without saying, they're going to do it to you too.
Yeah. If I talk bad about my best friend by you, it surely means I want to talk shit by you.
100%.
About you by him.
100%.
Yeah.
Because you're already doing that to that homie who doesn't think that you're going to do that to him. So do you think you're not special? No, you are naive.
Some people believe that.
Because you are
special. Yeah.
Some people.
Talk-
Naivety.
Let's talk about. We can stay on the topic of like subtle disrespect or this and that, but let's talk about how. What are some red flags?
Red flags in a girl.
And when.
You know what?
Wait. Before, let me finish my question. What are some red flags?
Oh, you wanna start now?
And at what point do you decide, fuck it, I want to be the captain?
What you mean? I want to.
When she has like all 7 red flags, you decide you want to be the captain of the sea. You want to flag on the boat.
I think you should never be able to say that you should be the captain. I think you crazy motherfucker. If you just see red flags and you're like, I still want to be the captain of that ship. Then you lost, my bro. You are lost.
That was a Captain Jack Sparrow joke, but I mean, like, let's.
Then you obviously are lost in.
I think I'm trying to avoid the relationship conversation. But it's fine. Let's get into this.
Let's get into it. Then you obviously lost soul, bro. You're not a high value man when you accept things like that. You know, as a high value man, you know you have self-worth. You know, you're gonna treat your girl like a queen if she treats you like a king as well.
Oh, that's fair.
You know, you need to know your worth. Like, you should be able to love your girl unconditionally, but at the same time, you know,
know when to cut ties.
Know when to cut ties. Know what your self-worth is at the same time. Because there's 3 types of love. There's the if I love you, if you do this for me, if you act this way, if you do this, I love him more. If my husband or if my wife does this, I would love her more. There's the because of. I love you because you treat me like this, because you do this for me, because of how you are. And then there's the in spite of. I love you in spite of this issue, in spite of this, in spite of that. Like, I love you in spite of those things. I'll always be there to hold you down as long as, you know, it's reciprocated.
Yeah.
You know, I get the same back. Because it is in spite of it, the unconditional love. It sounds like you should love them even if they don't love you, but I don't believe that.
No.
Like, there's in spite of love, but it is obviously if it's reciprocated to the same degree. So you asked me red flags, but give me your relationship red flags first.
No, look.
Give me your top 3 going forward.
No. Let's cut the bullshit. Let's talk about why I'm asking this question.
Why are you asking this question?
As you know, I recently had to make some tough choices.
Yes.
Had to end my relationship.
And
the reason I asked you about subtle disrespect is because that is what I had a shower thoughts. I was in the shower and I was thinking about everything and the choice that I made, and I came to the realization that it was some form of disrespect, right? So the reason we broke up is like we had some like
it's a problem.
It's like some stupid issues that like arguing over some stupid shit every now and then. And like, you know, it wasn't just her fault, like me as well. Sometimes like I would start the argument, but it would always be.
Always is, you know.
But it would always be.
It's
like,
always both.
Yes, but it would always be an unnecessary thing. And I've spoken about it many times with them. I was like, you know, when we see it gets heated, let's try and just relax and calm down. And the last weekend before I now made this choice, right? I think I picked up the Friday. We also had like some stupid argument, and I was then in the parking lot, and I was looking at her, and I just looked at her, and I just went like, "Hey, like I'm trying to be calm, to be relaxed, to try and work on this. This is unnecessary, right?" And like obviously she was like heavy upset, and so I can't let it go because like every time let it go, and that was the Friday, and then on the Monday. Like that Monday, like Sunday evening, Monday morning, I couldn't sleep. I was in bed. I was thinking about this because the next day I had to take her like back to college. I just couldn't sleep, and I was like thinking about it. Like
thinking about what?
Like how I've talked about this and how like we've talked about this and agreed we're going to work on it, but nothing's going to work on from it. Like I'm actively trying to be calm. Every time we argue, I will tell her like, hey, let's think about this. And then that was just when I made the decision. I told her like, listen, I can deal with this, but I no longer want to. I can, but I'm deciding that I no longer want to because I felt. And then only like a couple of days after that, like we talked, we met up, we had our final goodbye. Only after that, I was like really thinking about it. I was like, to me, it felt like a subtle form of disrespect.
Why?
Because I think if she really respected the situation or us or me, it would have gotten to a point where it was like, you know what, okay, fuck, like this is getting heated. We had this conversation. Let's sort this out. Or let me remember to not.
See, I still don't think respect is the right word. I agree that it is a problem, but I don't think it's the right word. I think there's a different word. And
just to clarify, if she watches this, like we're both at fault,
Okay, yeah.
It's not like it was her starting the argument. Like sometimes it was me as well.
But I think on that specific thing, what it all comes down to is just knowing what your deal breakers are. What are you willing to let slide or work on or compromise for, and what is really a deal breaker? If that is just what it comes down to. That is the basic, that is the essence of things. What is your deal breakers? If it is a deal breaker, you've got to be true to yourself, and you've got to tell her it's not working anymore.
Yeah. And that was a very hard decision to
And
make.
if it's not, then you also need to make that decision. Like, okay, it's not a deal breaker. It's never going to be perfect.
Yeah. Can we work on this, or is this always going to be a thing that's going to go into a marriage? And
like you always, but that's when it's a deal breaker. Even if it's not a deal breaker, it could still potentially go into marriage, and it's always going to be there, but you have to accept it then.
Yeah, but I don't think all these things should be accepted.
But then it's a deal breaker for you.
Yes.
See, if you feel like that, then it is a deal breaker for you. But if it is something that you can accept, like here's an example. But I don't like when my girl farts. Let's say she farts and
some
stinks.
Stupid example.
Some stupid thing. It's always gonna be there. Yeah. It's not a deal breaker. You have to accept it.
Of course.
It's not something like a communication issue, which is if there's no communication, if there's no.
That's fine. Don't stress about it.
Whatever. If there's no communication, or it's obviously a deal breaker, it's never gonna work. So I think it boils down to, is it a deal breaker? Is it not? If it's not, try and communicate. Maybe it gets better, maybe it's not. If it doesn't, you have to accept it. Or then if it's a deal breaker, then you have to.
Yeah, for me it was a case of like, I think where I drew the point is the fact that there have been many, let's call it actually like serious things that was worked on.
Yeah.
Right? And that was fixed over the years. And from her side, from my side, we grow and we build and stuff. But I think for me, it was just a case of like, for like months on end, it was like the same petty thing.
Yeah, it's like a lot of small things.
And for me, it was just like, listen, if like after months, it's still not worked on, like, because I've tried from my side, like it's actively there.
Like you've tried communicating.
And I actually think she will be able to.
Then it's a reciprocation
And the thing is, I think she'll actually be able to sit here and be like, no, I admit he did work on it. It was like, because she told me as well, like she admits, like,
then it's just
when she thinks about it. But for me, it was like, listen, we've been together how long? If we're going to still be together, it's going to lead to marriage. This is going to go into marriage. Then you have kids. Then there's problems. You don't want that.
If it's something, is it something that she can fix?
Yes.
Then it's a reciprocation and an effort issue, not respect. Because then she's
No,
not
agree.
putting
She
in,
can do the effort.
then she's just not putting in the effort because you communicated what you wanted and what you needed in the relationship in order to be, a fulfilling relationship.
Yeah.
And then if it's not being reciprocated, then it's not.
Yeah, but you see,
then
I
that's
find
an
that
issue.
disrespectful in the sense of like, if you respect me as your partner, you would put in the
But-
effort to fix it.
But disrespect is when you actively do something to someone.
Well, that's why I call it subtle, like or subconscious. Let's call it subconscious disrespect.
Okay. I guess you're going to classify it as disrespect.
Okay,
I won't see something as that like disrespectful
Yeah.
to me. I would see it as an issue.
It's like, hey, I want this done.
I
It's not
wouldn't-
done.
I wouldn't classify it as a disrespect, I would just classify it as something else in that moment if I find the word for
Yeah.
it. I can't think of examples like that in my past where I had similar situations like that specifically. Other situations, but not like that.
What's a deal breaker for you?
What is a deal breaker for
Whether
me?
it's in a relationship or just like,
Yo, there's so many.
or for example, like, okay, you've taken a girl on a couple of dates, you've done your thing, whatever. Now before it like gets serious, like obviously the deal breakers before a relationship are different than the deal breakers once you're in a relationship.
No, that's not true. Well, yes, that is
Some
true.
of it, like, yeah?
But I feel for the most part, it's not true. I feel like, yes, there will
Yeah.
pop up things. But I feel like mostly that happens. Mostly they pop up, not because they pop up, because they were already there. You just chose
didn't notice him, or
you
you chose to avoid them.
to ignore them.
Yeah.
Because that's the main thing people do when they go into relationships, is they ignore the red flags. But there's a scientific reason. There's a biological reason why. Do you know? There's actually a reason why.
There's a phrase for it, but I don't know what you call the phrase.
I'm going to tell you now. The phrase is love is blind. Is that what you're thinking of?
Stupid. No, I'm thinking about the thing where they said, like, let's say for example you want a car. Now when you drive on the road, you only you notice all those cars because that's the only thing your brain focuses on. But then once you have that car, you stop seeing those cars on the road. That's what's the similar thing I was thinking of in terms of.
Okay, yeah, I get that, yeah.
It's like, so you're looking for this perfect version of this person, so your brain only notices those things and it like disregards all those flaws that you're supposed to. Not flaws, but
that's gonna tie in with what I'm gonna say now. The reason why we do those things and we ignore the red flags, is for scientists studied the human brain and they were looking at the parts of the brain that light up when we experience the feeling of love.
or like dopamine, for example. Like
No, like love, just love. Like, I can't remember how they studied it. Like, how did they sort of get that response out of the person? But they saw that one of the areas of your brain that light up, that fires when we experience that feeling. It stopped recording. It was the same area responsible for positive delusion, which means you are positively deluding yourself every single time. And love can, this is the thing, love can only work when you are positively deluding yourself to an extent. Because you do need to positively delude yourself, because you do need to look past some faults, because we are all imperfect human beings. Nobody is perfect. You do have to look past some imperfections in your partner. And that is why we positively delude ourselves to look past certain things, which is dangerous, which is a good thing, because then it doesn't make us too apathetic to the person. We were like, oh, why look at this? You accepting more, which is a bad thing in the beginning, because you're now looking past the really big red flags and the really big deal breakers that you should not have ignored. So that's why I say sometimes it doesn't just pop up. It's been there. You've just been deluding yourself, and you've been looking past it. So, yeah.
All right, so let's get into your red flags.
My red flags.
Let's talk about red flags on like the first couple of dates before we get into it's now serious, you're now exclusively in a relationship.
Your red flags before the first couple of dates.
No, on the first couple of dates, red flags you look out for before you actually make a decision. Like, okay, let's be exclusive, let's be in a relationship.
See, that's hard, because it's not that you go in with a specific list of I'm gonna look out for this red flag. It's gonna appear.
Let me give you an example. So, for example,
but let me ask you a question before you give me an example. Do you want shallow red flags or deep red flags?
You any.
Just choose one. Do you want something shallow, are their appearances this or that?
Listen, if they look cuck, I'm not gonna date them. I'm sorry.
Of course, brah, but whatever. That
So-
goes without saying.
So for me, as an example, let's talk about shallow things.
Shallow.
For me,
shallow
it's
red
like,
flags.
listen, the first 2-3 dates.
Something superficial, you know, that.
No, just like the first 2-3 dates. If you're always 15-30 minutes late, no,
Time management.
not cool.
So that's a
I
red
mean,
flag.
if we go on 3-4 dates and she's always on time, she's always dressed nicely, takes care of herself, you know, and then now maybe the 4th date she's late because something happened, like at
That's
home.
fine.
That's 100%.
But if you're gonna be late the whole time,
Like the first, especially the first
It
two,
means
like
you're
the
very-
first dates, you know.
you're very airy fairy type of woman, you know, you're very like don't really care, you know,
Yeah.
carefree, you know.
And that's also
Yeah.
like a form of disrespect, disrespecting the time
Yeah, but that's carefreeness. You know, it's
as
gonna
well.
it's gonna feel to that person like you are disrespecting them, but you are not going out your way to
Yeah.
disrespect them. You are just your personality is carefree, you know.
For me, and then another thing
And
is
that the actions that is gonna like the actions of carefreeness is gonna be disrespectful towards the other person, but you're not consciously doing that.
and then
So you're talking about stuff like that.
something like that. Let's say the way you treat a wait, like the way she treats a waiter, for example.
Hmm.
I don't know. My father always told me, like, you know, treat everyone the same, and I'm not gonna lie. We've all walked out of a shop and someone's like, "Hello, sir," and you're just like, you know, you walk like. We've all done that, but in general, I try and always be friendly to waiters. The same as,
like how you treat the servers.
I mean, I'm gonna give the same amount of respect to the waiter as what I'm gonna give to some guy I'm meeting with for a business meeting. That's the general idea.
Of your 100%.
But if she comes in there, she's like, "Hey, what?" Waiter comes and she's like, you know, it's like, okay, something's off.
No, that just means she's cuck.
Fair enough.
That means she's cuck, and she's gonna be a cuck human in general, and you don't want to date a cuck human.
Yeah, and then
If you-
small things.
Here's the thing, man.
Eye contact. Don't touch your phone. Focus. Like actively. Also, if she lacks intelligence,
Vent,
bro.
devil, vent. Tell
like,
me.
Like also if like they, I don't want to say they lack intelligence, but if you can't keep a conversation flowing,
Oh yeah, they're dull.
like
You know, there's nothing going on.
I'll sit and listen to you for an hour. That's cool. I'll listen. You know, I'll learn about you, and then if that conversation dies, and she doesn't, like, you know, can't ask questions back, can't follow up on things that I've said or this and that, like, you know, like you're
Then
lacking
what?
something. You're lacking like life experience, or you.
Well,
Obviously, we don't want people with like too much of, you know, but
too much what? Too much what, devil? Too much life experience
in certain aspects.
in certain
But also-
aspects.
but
What are
also-
those aspects?
But also, you know what? I also just think
What are those aspects,
it
devil?
doesn't matter. You can think
No,
for
it,
yourself.
it does matter.
We
This is uncensored.
We have
unfiltered.
Andrew Tate
Are you scared?
saying all these things.
Are you scared, devil? To
Man,
be
I'm not.
cancelled.
Listen, I'm not, no one wants
Just
to.
get into
No
it.
one wants to date a dick. Or dick. No one wants to
A
date a
dick.
chick that has had like 10.
With a high body count.
Yeah.
Why?
For me, it's like okay. Let's put it this way. If you
I still haven't said my red flags, by the way, but continue.
it's fine. If you're 25 years old, and
Yeah.
and your body count's 5, but each of those relationships were like a year long, right? It's fine. Can tolerate. You were in relationships. But if you're 19, and your body count's like 9, and you've only ever had one relationship, that for me is a sign of like, where's your morality?
Yeah,
like-
it all
like,
boils down to what
like-
your morals and your values
And
are.
listen, there's nothing wrong. You know, it's your life. Go do your hoe phase. But for me, it's not how I was raised, and I think I would ideally look for someone that was raised with similar values.
What's your body count, devil? I'm just kidding.
No.
Let's-
I'll answer this.
let's not get into
No. I'll answer this. 2 from like long-term
Oof.
relation. No.
Easy.
So the total body count's about 5. 5.
How many of them were hookups?
1.
So you've had 4 relationships.
No. So I've had 2 long-term relationships. 2 of them were like, you know, kind of starting to date, get into it, and then eventually like
Were you actually dating though? Did you ask her out?
it was like we exclusive, and then we did our thing, and then like a month or 2 later she was like, oh no, listen, like actually I don't want to fuck up this friendship, you know, that bullshit. Or she's like, oh
So it
okay,
was-
I'm moving away.
So was it like a friends with benefits?
2 of them, yes.
Exactly.
No.
Where's your morals and
in
your
like-
values,
in like-
devil?
Hey, I always had the okay. Listen,
Where's your morals?
fine. Let me
And your
rephrase
values.
this. Let me rephrase it. Same thing. If you're 19 and if you have 6 bodies, but you had the intent, and the
Of
commitment was there
dating.
for each and every person. The intent was like, listen,
Exactly.
for example, because you
It
never.
depends on the context.
Yes.
So that's
But
why
I'm
I'm not
talking
someone
about-
that just says like, you have a fucking this and you slag.
But here's my thing, because like obviously we can say this and it gets clipped for TikTok and whatnot, but it's out of context.
Yeah.
But you understand the way that I mean.
I understand
these
what
things.
you mean.
My intent with those other two have always been there to.
Within the context, if she's a hoe, bro, you're not gonna date her.
Yes.
But yeah, that's just the
But
thing.
if she's had many guys, but the intent from her side was always there, like, you know, she wanted to date them, long-term things, and then the guy ended up just fucking around. I understand that. I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to judge.
But even with that, like, there will be a certain extent where it's just like,
it was her side.
even regardless, what the context is, like, it's just too much, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like that goes for any human, like guys and girls, you know. But yeah,
It's a fact. Tell us not body count. Fuck that.
don't you want to hear my red flags that we've been...
Tell me the red flags. These are date red flags before we get to relationship red flags.
Okay, like I'm going on a date and I'm seeing these things.
Yeah.
She's a smoker. If she's a smoker.
Fuck.
If she's a novelty seeker. You know, if she has a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out on stuff. She's a validation seeker, you know.
Yeah.
These are all red flags, but you don't want these people because it means like they are not secured within themselves and they are not happy and, you know, within themselves to get that, you know, happiness, validation, whatever. They are like always shiny object syndrome, always looking for the next rush and cuck. And yeah, you don't want that because then that's going to put you in a really insecure relationship because you never know when your girl is going to be novelty seeking.
Or when she's going to have a moment of weakness because
Yeah.
something like subconsciously kicks in, like, oh shit.
I want this rush now, which is now either cheating or whatever. I'm talking to a guy that all the girls like. So I'm sort of validated now that he's the one that's talking to me. Even though she's in a relationship, she's getting a rush. She's getting like a rush out of it. So that's novelty seeking as a red flag. Smoking, that's just something physical. When she...
But you used to smoke, didn't you, at one point?
Yeah, I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a social smoker.
Yeah.
I used to drink as well at some point, which I don't.
Yeah.
I also used to watch porn, and I don't anymore. I also used to use drugs, and I don't do any of those.
Question.
Not drugs like... I did drugs like experimentation like everyone. Low-key.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say you meet up with this girl.
So I don't do anything
10 out of 10.
anymore.
She smokes. But you're like, okay, first
No.
date. No, wait. First date or let slide. Second date. She tells you, listen, I really like you. Smoking's a big thing for me. I will do my best to stop smoking.
No.
Yeah? Done.
I just won't engage with someone that smokes.
Yeah, you won't tolerate that.
I just won't be on a date with someone
Yeah.
that smokes. That's it.
Fair.
That is it.
Fair.
Like, I don't care. Like, that is already a thing.
Well,
Like,
well, also,
because
it's a
I know
personal
how-
preference thing.
it's a personal preference. Yes, you do your thing.
Remember, it's
But-
internet, so just clarify, you don't hate people who smoke.
Yeah, I don't hate people who smoke.
Yeah.
You know, that is your preference, and my preference as well is not to date them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't judge people.
Would you date a burger?
No, default. I would not date. Would you date a burger?
Date? Nope.
Would you hook up with a burger?
I will admit, I was catfished once.
Oh my god. That was not a catfish.
No, I'm not talking about the one that you know about.
Dealbreakers?
I'm talking about like way back.
Oh, way back.
Like way back. Yo, this
Wait, Default. Before you start,
the Tinder photos was fun.
please clarify. What is a burger?
Okay, can I get into
like
the
some Burger King.
All right. Can I get into the story, because obviously you know the story, but they don't.
Yes, but tell the story, but first clarify. Tell the crowd, tell the audience, what is a burger?
If you look like a you are considered I'm fat phobic, okay?
Why?
Because I just don't find it attractive. Some people do, and that's fine.
But I don't feel like you should be fat phobic. Just be normal. And just like be lekker. Don't be judgmental, but just also know that your preference is not fat people.
Yes, I just prefer.
Like you don't
Listen,
need to be toxic about
But
it.
also, I don't have like lady friends who are fat.
And it doesn't matter that doesn't fucking like do anything with the fact that like that doesn't.
Okay, so
Just
when
be-
I was on the ships, right? This one day we were on the island. We came back. We were eating, and I have this Mexican friend, Mauricio, I miss you, my brother.
Mauricio.
And Mauricio himself is like a big guy. He's not big, but he's got like a beer thing, but it's not.
Beer belly.
Yeah, and
He's a burger.
ironically, no, because it doesn't
He's
look
not a
like
burger.
No. Ironically, this day it was burger day.
He's a slide.
Yeah, he's like a lettuce.
What do you mean he's like a lettuce?
Like it's like a bit here, but there's nothing.
He's like a kiddie's meal burger.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're having burgers, and because it's burger day, right? So we stacked like 2 patties. We stacked, bro. Because the thing is, the food on the ship doesn't have a lot of nutrition because it's all frozen, and
of course.
So
but you can make better food choices, though. You don't have to eat burgers.
No. So like on like burger day, I would have a burger along with my chicken and stuff.
Okay.
But anyways, so Mauricio always stacks like 2 burgers. And so I'm sitting here, and Mauricio's sitting next to me. Your brother's guy would eat and drink. Anyways.
Mauricio.
And just like next to Mauricio, this one girl comes and sits, right? I'm sorry, internet ladies.
Oh my bra.
But listen, it's like you've got the shirt, and then you've got the stomach roll, right?
Yeah.
But the stomach roll has a roll that is going over half of her legs.
Yeah.
Which is like I imagine it as like the lettuce and the cheese like dripping off of the side of a burger.
Like the sauce, my bro.
And I was like, and I looked at Mauricio and I was like, bro, I don't think if you look like a burger, you should be eating burgers. And Mauricio's like, what do you mean? And I was like, look there. And he looks and he goes like, she looks like a beef burger. And I was like, so burger? And he's like, yeah. And then we also spoke about like pizza. If you look like a pizza, small top, don't eat pizza. It's a fat phobic thing. But if you look like an inverted pizza, small waist, broad shoulders, like you, eat your pizza. I
also don't think it works like that really, but
it became a joke. Whereas we would walk, and if we see like, and look, this isn't for fat people. This is for like obese. Like fat is hanging over your freaking.
But like even then, but I just feel like if nobody's doing anything to you, let people be. Just fucking, what does it gonna do to you? Like to judge them, they're living rent free in your head. Then. Yes. Here's my view on.
Wait. I don't think the funny part was them. I think the funny part was being like, burger, and then remembering the dopamine moment of how we laughed when we came up with a concept.
But still, okay, listen to this.
I think the people are just a trigger for like, burger,
Yeah, but if you,
I'm gonna get so much shit for this podcast.
If you have to insult anyone.
Yes.
Or have to like sort of judge anyone. That is not a reflection on that person. That is a reflection on yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Which means your life is cuck. And you are trying to bring someone down to make yourself feel better.
Most probably.
So if you are ever toxic to a different human, this is not anybody. You are the toxic one, brah. You are the cuck one. Because your life is going cuck. You feel bad about it. You feel bad about yourself. This is all subconsciously as well. You're not going to be self-aware. Maybe some people are. But
I was at a shit point in my life on that shit.
You're not going to be self-aware that you cuck. You're just going to think, you lie. And then you're going to feel good about yourself because I'm not fat, But just, if you ever have to insult someone or be rude or judge, it just means it's a reflection on you.
Yeah.
That's why we can go through life with not giving a shit about what anybody thinks, because we know if anybody is judging me, that's not on me. That's on them, bro. Their own toxicity will eat them up. That's gonna corrupt them. They're already corrupted, and they're already off the path, and they're not on their purpose. They're not being like awesome, cool, purposeful, high value people.
Yeah.
Because a high value person is fucking calm, bro. It's kind, is chill.
Like you said yesterday, I'm a medium value man. I need to regain my high value status.
We all medium value.
Remember that one day we had a conversation, you were like, when we lived together, and you walked into the house, you were like, Dealbreakers, you are cuck. I'm cuck. We are all cuck.
Oh, you want me to repeat that?
Yeah, like get into, why did we have that conversation? Because you were just like...
Don't you remember how it ended? So go say that again, then I promise you'll remember.
So I spoke to JP about something, and JP was like, Dealbreakers, you are cuck. And I was like, that's fucked up. And he's like, no. But I'm also cuck. Everyone is cuck. How the fuck did we get... But like, I remember that day because it was like, we all like...
Because it came down to this. I said, because we all cuck. Because none of us really mean anything. Because nothing really matters. We all gonna die 200, 300, 500 years from now, and nobody's gonna remember us. 1,000 years from now, nobody will ever remember that you existed. Firstly, so 1,000 years, 10,000 years, 100,000 years, 1,000,000 years, nothing fucking matters what you do now. And even beyond that, we are all just floating on this tiny little blue piece of like little sand coral chi.
Yeah.
And in this vast, infinite amount of universe, and we are not anything special. Like, we don't mean anything in the lifespan of the universe and everything, in whatever anyone believes. But it's because of that we're also special. We're special because we're not special. And we're not special because we're special. Just before the haters out there, it's like, what you mean? Like, we're not special, bro. No. We are all God's creation. Like, yeah. But we are imperfect beings.
Yeah. Before we move on from the whole like sexuality thing and fat phobic and transgender and all that crap, right? I just want to clarify.
We moved on already. We've been through different
topics. I want to clarify one thing.
What?
I have nothing against gay people or bi people. I have gay friends.
Save your ass real quick.
No. I have gay friends, and when I met them, I've told them, hey, bro.
You know, you can still be like, whether it's homophobic, fatphobic, or racist, you can still be those things and have people. It doesn't
just respect the people around you.
No. That's not what I mean at all. I mean, like, you can still. It doesn't absolve you from being racist by having like a different racial friend. Yeah. It doesn't absolve you from being homophobic just because you're like, I'm not homophobic because I have gay friends. You could still have homophobic like mindsets and cuck.
So what I told them, like when I met them, I was like, listen, bro, I have no problem with you being gay. Just never try and be gay with me.
But why, bruh? That is such a cringe thing to say to someone, because it goes without saying. Why would they want to do anything to you? Do you really think you're that special and that attractive? Why would they, knowing that they're gay, knowing that you're... No, shush, I'm talking. Why would they, knowing that you're a straight white male... Yes, they are like...
Because on the ship it's happened multiple times to me.
Yes, there are extremes out there. There's the flamboyant twinks out there that test their luck. But the same with guys and girls. How many males are out there fucking creeping on girls and cuck, bro? Like, yes... But every girl doesn't have to go up to you and say, like, just because you're straight, don't try and do anything with me. Most men leave them alone. The fucking creepy extremes, they don't. The creepy extreme gays, they're gonna try and hit on the straight males. Yes, to them when that happens, you say. But to just say to like a homie who's a gay, just don't do anything to me. That's cringe, bro. That's like.
But I was a cringe motherfucker.
That's cringe, bro. Because that's like, bro, do you really think that low of me? Like. I'm a homosexual, but I'm still normal, I'm not just this fucking horny for men, every straight fucking male out there. I'm gonna now try and pounce and touch and cuck. That's why it shouldn't even be said, bro, unless it happens. Then you need to just set your boundaries, obviously, because you're not gonna allow that shit. But you shouldn't like go out of your way to tell that to one of them.
So the first time I said that, it was just out of like aware, bro. Because I was a cringy motherfucker.
Like, here's the thing: we think it is also. This is why we say like stuff like that, because we think like, I just wanna tell him I'm chill, but it always comes across like wrong, like,
offensively.
Well, not offensively, just cringe, bro. It's like I get where you're coming from, but just the fact that you say it like that is still, it's weird, bro. Like,
so like I'm saying, the first time I ever said that,
the right thing to do is just fucking nothing. Just treat them like nothing, and if anything ever happens, it's just.
The first time I said that, it was just like, oh, bro, listen, I want you to know. I said that. I was like, oh, bro, I want you to know.
I'm not saying it comes from a bad place. You said it because it came from a good place, but I'm just saying like how it appears as well.
And then the second time I've ever said that in my life was on the ship, where we had like most of the entertainment people were gay, not all, but most of them.
Oh yeah.
And I've had multiple of them like come up to me and be like touchy and stuff, not like hitting on me, but like when they talk to me, they would like touch me like this, be like deal with this, and I would tell them like, hey, listen, I understand where you're coming from. I would appreciate like don't.
Yeah. Just set your boundaries.
Yeah. Like I get you and I get your preference, but don't touch me. Don't be like.
Yeah, I'm not about that. Like,
I think it feels wrong to say like, don't be gay with me. Like, it's like with me.
Listen,
it's like,
don't be gay. That just sounds so fucking
it was
funny, bro.
like to the first guy, he was quite a big guy, like a buff guy, not fat, like and he was like soft, like touchy. And I was like, bro, like just like don't be gay with me. And then when it came to the second guy, I've already thought about what I said to the first guy. And I was like, but it doesn't sound right to say don't be gay with me. So the second guy, I was just like, hey, bro, I get where you are at, just don't, touch me like that. But that also, it can always sound wrong.
Yeah, it's a very weird thing, it's a very weird thing to navigate because we don't deal with it a lot.
Yeah.
And you see what I mean? You don't deal with it a lot, because it doesn't just happen. There's how many gay guys might have passed you that just
this guy's cock ugly with a bless.
Exactly, bro. They don't care, bro. Yeah. They don't care. They're just normal. It's not like you're gonna go up to every single girl and you're gonna be like touchy. Why? Because you're not fucking creepy, And most of them are like that too. But I think this is not even probably the right way to approach it. This is just how I would approach it.
Yeah, I was just fucked up.
It's just the first time if it happens, I'll just be like, still platonically set my boundaries and just be direct and platonic, not necessarily rude and not necessarily like fucking dressing it up, making it sweet and like, oh, I don't want to offend you. I'm just kind of platonically, directly, not even one way or the other one, just be direct and be like, just don't do that. Like, it makes me uncomfortable, don't do that. I would appreciate it. Quiet. The second time, I would be like, listen, I already fucking told you. Like, then you must not get just. Because they're already overstepping that boundary you set. You set a clear, hard boundary. There's no way of misinterpreting the boundary you set. Then it's like, listen, come on now, you know what you're doing, motherfucker. No.
I'm just imagining this one clip this one part getting clipped for TikTok, and the video starts like where I'm just saying like, don't touch me like that, man. Like,
but Dealbreakers, what are you trying to do here? You remember what I said?
Oh yeah, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Dealbreakers, what are you doing, step bro?
What you doing?
Step bro.
Yes, daddy. I will say, like way
Give
after
us
this
your best ooh woo.
I will say, like there was one point where I was talking to like a couple girls were sitting there and some guys. This was before I knew one of the guys was gay, right? But it was after that with this guy who hit on me, and I was there and I was just like, we were making like porn jokes and stuff, and I was just like, yes, daddy. And then afterwards, this one guy, that's when he like came and he touched me. He's like, I like the way you said.
Oh
yes,
my
daddy.
God.
And that's when I was like, hey, like, I understand, but
Listen, you're busy with fatherless activities.
Science has proven.
Do you have daddy issues?
Science has proven. This is something I read this week. Science has proven. And this is very personal. Not to me, but no. But science has proven that girls who grow up without a father tend to start their period 1 year earlier than girls getting raised in a like normal mother-father household, but because of the lack of masculinity, you can call it. That's what they called it. Yeah, that's probably what they called it. The lack of that in the household,
which makes sense, bro. If you think of like how the systems of the hormones and the glands work. Yeah. Like, but that is interesting. But like, how did science prove it though?
They probably did statistics.
Or did you just like read the headline?
No. I read a little. It was a very short article, but I think. How they did it, probably it was like a census thing, maybe, and they were like, listen, we're gonna like, at what age did you start? Did you grow up with a father? Did you die when you were young, or did you actually like?
So they basically screened them first,
I think, and then they took like an Excel spreadsheet or something.
Oh, and then they were like, at what age? Okay, I get you.
And then they were probably like, okay, we found that in general, girls who grow up without a father or without a masculine figure in the house tend to have started the period 1 year.
That makes sense though. Because of the like estrogen and progesterone and how it works, like how periods work and stuff, and the sort of fucking like fluctuations that happen.
I'm gonna check this camera quickly. So continue talking. I'll just check this camera quickly.
Yeah, I thought it had something to do with like intercourse itself. Like there is no male. She needs a male. So she's starting a period so she can attract a male almost.
That is
So-
a very interesting way
so-
to look at things, Jesus.
So she must now get fertile to get a male in her life, almost like for protection type of thing.
I see why you went there.
That's what I was initially like, what? And then it sort of no.
But you see, that gives me a very deep like insight into where your thoughts are at, because
Where are my thoughts?
because like
developed?
I read that headline and my thoughts didn't go there. My thoughts was like, what the fuck? Click, and then
Nah, it wasn't just what the fuck. Like,
no, honestly, it was like, well, this is weird. Like, why am I? No, okay. For me, it was like,
I'm not
why-
talking about that. That's obviously initial thoughts.
For me, it's
but I'm
like-
talking about like on the topic.
I didn't really think about that much. I read it and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then
Sure, let's go with that then.
I think it will really
You
have to think about
abnormal human.
No, but look,
You don't know.
my headlines are like 90% filled with just technology and
No, tech
motivation stuff. And then this one thing comes up that says that. I'm like,
The
okay, that's interesting.
scientists have proved, yeah. Sometimes the pages you follow like post some weird things.
Yeah.
I start unfollowing pages with, like, they've been like motivational, like really giving some like some hidden gems, some hidden gem knowledge. They've been giving me value, but then they start posting like
Weird shit.
girls.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, bro.
Or like some ads for some people.
The
So-
ads are fine, you know. You gotta make the bag, but
Yeah.
not galas. That's just distraction.
So we're about an hour and 10 minutes in. I think we should go over to money.
Okay, do you wanna
Because we've covered sex and stuff around sex and
life?
genders and all that.
We covered sex. We covered life.
No, yeah, we haven't really covered
Well,
a lot
life
of like,
is always gonna be in between.
yeah,
always.
but let's get over into money, and then
money.
we can when we're done with that, we can
Finance.
probably get into like personal development.
Prime has hydrated me too much. I need to go rehydrate in the bathroom.
Before we move on, like we can pause it, but before we move on, Prime is being marketed
Oh, you want to talk about this?
as healthy.
Ah, yes, you.
No, I know we already had a very deep conversation about this.
About Prime.
And my opinion, which I gave, was that I believe people call it, they say, oh, this is healthy, simply because to them, they deem it as, this is healthier than drinking Coke, for example.
Yeah.
And so they go like, I'm going to have this because this is healthy. And what they technically mean is like, it's better for me than just Coke.
Yeah.
But then
That's
obviously,
what you thought. That's why you.
yeah, and
Why
then-
you thought people were marketing it as a health drink.
yeah, because it's like, oh, little sugar, coconut water, this and that. But I think let's take a quick ad break and then we can get back into this.
Okay.
Okay, so while JP's out there making us coffee, this video is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is what I use to design the website for NelCapital, my film company. It's an easy to use drag and drop website. It's intuitive. It automatically optimizes for your mobile websites. You can use this code, and I'll also drop it in the description down below, to get 10% off your first website or your first subscription. So whether it's a monthly plan or an annual plan, you can get 10% off. Go to squarespace.com/whatever this code says, because I don't know what it is, and get 10% off your very first website. And we're back. Okay, so before the little Squarespace break, we started speaking about Prime. JP, give us your thoughts on the whole health the whole health thing about Prime.
The thing about, we talked about like the marketing strategy, about like the reason why they're marketing as a health drink, and your opinion on it was, you think that it is because it's like sort of
People compare it to other things, and then it's
compared-
healthier. And then
compared to other things, but it's actually not that entirely. Mostly it's just because it's a marketing
gimmick.
strategy. You know, it's one of those things. Here's an example. They'll take a supplement and they'll look at the compounds, or the supplement will consist of certain compounds or certain vitamins, minerals, let's say magnesium and zinc, and they're going to say ZMA has been scientifically proven, or let's not make it a supplement, let's make it a health drink, and they say this health drink has ZMA in, and it has been scientifically proven to boost testosterone. But then you go look at the studies backing that claim, and the studies have found, yes, there's been an increase in testosterone production. There's been an improvement, but it was like 2% with the specific amount. Like, let's say 100 milligrams was 2%, 200 milligrams was 4%, but anything above 800 milligrams was like redundant, like it didn't increase above like 5% or whatever. This is just an example, or like whatever. So then they can just not give the consumer context and be like, it only increases testosterone 2% with the amount that is in this product. But they're not going to say that. They're just going to be like, scientifically proven to improve testosterone by this, like it's healthy because,
yeah.
You know.
But they won't get into the details.
They don't give the detail, and unless you as a consumer gets into the details and gets into like the context as to why they're saying this, and go look at the studies, what they've done, why is it scientifically proven, and what is the amounts, what is the increase in performance that you're really getting. Like, it's most of these healthy things is gonna be like the bare minimum, but it's not even gonna matter. Same as with like the Prime, it's like a health drink. Why is it a health drink? What is health? You know,
health is wealth.
Yes, look at the components inside, but are the components really improving and increasing your performance at the levels which you expect? Do you really think this is gonna be like some magical thing? I'm gonna drink this, it's gonna hydrate me. It's really not gonna do much at the end of the day. Just cause it's not gonna give you that much, the actual amounts that you need. But they're still gonna market it towards. So that's why they would market it towards like healthy. Because it's like, if anyone goes back to them and they're gonna be like, yeah, but you can't call this a health drink, they can at least go back and say, yeah, but we do have scientific research. Even though it's like, the studies have shown like minute increases, and I'm not saying this is Prime, I'm just saying in general, if this was the case, they're covered. Even if the studies were like so little, like the findings were so little towards the notion that they're pushing, they're still backed. Like they can't do anything towards them.
It's the same as saying like, if you eat too many donuts, you'll get science says if you eat too many donuts, you'll get diabetes. But if you eat 10 donuts today, and then only in 1 year
which is too many.
Yeah, and then only in a year from now you eat 10 donuts, your chances might not be that high to get diabetes. But if you eat 10 donuts every single day, you know, it's like, what I'm trying to say is like,
you need to know the context.
Yes, what I'm trying to say is like, they don't say like, okay, this is healthy. Okay, sugar gives you diabetes. Okay, but eating 1 spoon of sugar is not. But they don't say like, listen, 1 spoon is fine.
Yeah, of course they never.
And that's. I'm just clarifying what you've already like kind of said.
Yeah, it's not contextual. You know, there's
in simple terms.
Yeah, but lots of those things also goes without saying, like common sense wise, like dictates.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just be smart.
Let's talk money. Because money's always
because we talked about marketing now.
Yeah, let's talk about money. Money's always a fun topic for me. I firmly believe that, and I'm gonna get some shit for this, but I was told a long time ago that when it comes to business, those who are afraid to talk about money in like when you negotiate, usually tend to people that don't have money.
What do you mean?
In the sense of like, so let's say way back when I used to shoot for Mazda or Jaguar, right?
Yes.
They don't ask me how much. When I say let's talk price, they're like, how? They'll be like, give me your price. I give them price, they pay it. Whereas, like, there's no like uncomfort or discomfort. Like, we can talk about money. We can be like, okay, 200 rand, this, that, it's fine.
It's almost like price is not a discussion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas, I found that in business, when people are like, okay, how much? Tell them a price, and they were like, can you negotiate? I'm fine. Negotiation has nothing to do with not having money.
Yeah.
But you get a sense of discomfort from people who don't really have. I don't know how to clarify this.
What is this topic?
But it's like,
what is
that
this
is my
topic?
firm belief that if we go into business,
yes,
and I spot any point of you being uncomfortable talking about money towards this project that you now want me to do for you.
In what sense? Uncomfortability? How?
What
are they uncomfortable about?
I believe people that have money are used to money and they can talk about it like openly.
Yeah,
like,
but how? Give me an example of how someone would get uncomfortable when they talk about money.
Okay, bro. So we're gonna do. So usually, what I like to do is when I enter thing, I'm like, first of all, before we get into details, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't always talk budget, but let's give this stupid example. Budget.
Yeah.
That
is an exception. Right?
Most people would be like, okay, no. Before I give you a budget, like, can we talk about like what is it you're gonna do and this and that and time, and that's for me is like, okay, it's not generally uncomfortable. It's like, okay, you're avoiding this now. One.
That could also be inexperience as well. Like they're not, like they never do this, almost like this is the first time, so they're trying to suss out the situation.
Maybe.
You know, that could also, that's one of the factors is inexperience, but the other
Yeah.
factors could still be there.
Okay, if I come to you and be like, JP, this is going to cost you 20,000 Rand and you don't have 20,000 Rand, for example, you're going to be like, okay, if someone tells me, listen, you want to buy this from me, it's going to cost you 20K, right? If I'm going to be there like, it's 20K, like, can I think about this kind of, it's like, you know, you don't really have, it's not like you don't have money. It's not you like necessarily used to working with vast amounts of money.
But that doesn't make sense though, because now you said it's not that you don't have the money.
It's hard to explain.
It's you saying, yeah, it's not that they don't have the money, but you're not used to working with that amount of money.
No, in general, people who are uncomfortable talking about money don't have, aren't used to,
Like they're not.
they aren't accustomed to work, like dealing with large amounts of, not necessarily large, but like dealing with money. Like,
Okay, but what about that? Like,
the thing is,
what is this like? What about that?
no, that's just a belief, and
Okay.
it's what I've experienced.
Okay, because it's
We had to get into money somehow, so I was like, okay,
know.
random belief. There I go.
random belief. Yeah, I guess you could believe that.
It's true.
Yeah, like it's quite a
People generally who avoid the money topic tend to not have.
yeah, but that is.
That's
I
also
can- I
maybe
can see
common
how
sense.
that is the
but-
case, because if I think about myself, before I was really how can I say this? Let me try and finesse this. Let's say
Unfiltered and uncensored.
unfiltered and uncensored, but also humble at the same time.
No, unfiltered.
No. You're unfiltered, but authentic and humble. Like,
But are you authentically humble?
let's say like out of school you were brokey now and stuff, and
Yeah.
you're now not used to, like, I'm not talking about the kids who have like wealthy families. I'm talking about like just the average Joe Schmo like out there. Like, if you're gonna be like just dropped into like business deals,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be used to that stuff. So yeah.
And
Is
you
that
when
like-
you have to go meet with a client,
Yeah.
you're going to be
But
uncomfortable
that's
talking
but that's normal though.
Yeah.
Are you like saying that you're judging those people? Like, what is
No.
going on here? Okay.
I'm saying
Is that just like statement people?
okay. So the way you
People
put it, the
who-
way you've put it, right? I understand if I have to go
Yeah.
meet with an agent at BMW,
Mm.
and we talking about project and pricing and this and that,
Mm.
and this guy's hella uncomfortable. Yeah, in your context, if he's a newbie there, 100% understandable because
But does it? Are you saying that it bothers you? Is that's what I'm asking? Like, why are you bringing up this topic?
no.
What do you want out
No,
of this
I just
topic?
mentioned like money in general.
No. This topic specifically. Why are you saying that those type of people bother you?
No,
Because it sounds like you're saying that.
no.
Okay.
It's just an easy way to kind of suss out
Suss out
whether
what?
this is going to happen or not. Because, and I'm saying this because I was there.
Oh, suss out what?
When
though?
I started doing projects for people that had to pay me to do it, I wasn't used to like talking money. So I would always like leave money. Like money's the last thing we talk about. Like I
Yeah.
just want to kind of nail this deal, and then I'll be like, okay, you know, you kind of already like I want to try to get the client in it. That was me. Right now, it's just like, listen, you want me to do this before we talk about what's like, can you pay me? Do you have money? We're talking
Ooh,
like we're talking
I
money.
see.
It's like
That's a bit different than my.
It's
how
also-
would I say profession?
it's also about wasting time. Well, yeah, well, I don't. It's different professions that we're in. Right?
Yeah, it is
So
different.
film
professions.
projects, like there's stuff that goes in it, rentals, expenses of other people, fuel, sundries is what they call it. It's like snacks and stuff on the day. But there's a whole lot of things that go in it. But so before we can even start about this, what's your
budget?
What's your capital?
Yeah.
Your
This
if you
is what
tell
I
me,
ask. What's your budget?
if you tell me we go shoot a TV commercial, budget's 10K, I'll tell you there's no way.
Yeah, obviously.
Rentals alone is going to be like 20K.
But yeah, you know most
Per
what,
day.
what price you're gonna set
Yeah.
there for yourself.
But if we meet it, I'm like, bro, what's your capital for this project? No, can we first like kind of just talk about like what do you think we can do in this? No,
Like-
what's your capital for this project? Because
Like,
there's
what's
no
the
use.
budget?
Because there's no use in us having this discussion and planning everything if you don't have the capital.
Yeah, I guess that.
Well, then you waste my time. So, what's your budget? No, I
Guess
don't
so.
really have money. Cool, goodbye. Like, it's fine.
I see. Are you that harsh in those business discussions and meetings, or are you more like
I won't
chilled?
look at you and be like, JP, what's your capital? No, I don't. Okay, goodbye. No,
just be like? Oh,
I'll just be
okay.
like, hey, listen,
I
I'm going to be
understand.
frank with you. We need to talk capital first. X, Y, Z. Here's why.
I see. That's much different than
But
how
that's
I,
me. That's me. I'm very
Yeah.
direct. I like get shit
Yeah.
done. And also, like, okay, if you're like a new client, like this guy's major. I want to work with this guy. cool. It's kind of like you're a big thing for me. So then I'll be kind of like I'll be the underdog. I'll be like, give your time to talk, get to it. But if we've been partners for like a very long time, and it also comes in like now all of a sudden you don't want to talk money. It's also like, you're trying to snake me now? The fuck's going on? Like,
I get you.
there's a lot of things that can tie into that phrase.
Why are you sleazy all of a sudden?
Yeah, but there's a lot that can tie into that phrase that says like, people who are uncomfortable talking about money don't have money. And it doesn't mean
not necessarily, bro.
Look, it doesn't mean they don't have capital. It's like it goes in the sense of like they're not used to.
I think there's a lot of things. Like if you're uncomfortable, maybe you don't feel like you're worth the money, or
like you said, inexperienced.
Inexperienced, yeah. That ties in with the you're not like worth, or like maybe you are like a sus individual, or maybe you are just like cheap, Or maybe you're not cheap, but you really don't feel like this product or whatever, the service is not going to provide value. That's why you sus about money or sketchy.
Yeah.
There's multiple things. I don't think it's as simple.
Yeah, it's one phrase can be broken up into a lot of...
I don't think you can just say people with uncomfortable are just broke. But
no, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean they don't have money. It means...
But that's what you said, though.
Yeah, but the phrase, it's supposed to go towards the fact of they're not used to working with... I don't want to even say a big amount of flow of capital.
Liquid.
Not even, man. It's just like, if I've never had 20,000 rand, I've never done 20,000 rand deals, and now like, okay, I'm gonna approach this. I'm gonna be a bit uncomfortable because I don't know.
Or maybe it's just like an intimidating client.
It could be.
Like, I've done $20,000 deals, 20,000 rands, but today I'm having a bad day, and this is an intimidating client.
And maybe I know this is a 50, or maybe I know this is a 50k deal, but I don't have 50k. I'm a bit uncomfortable talking about that.
But obviously, those it goes without saying, those type of people, will always be.
In general, I think that phrase can be broken up into very different amounts of contextual situations.
Yeah, we can talk about a lot of things with that phrase.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go. Money. Something.
Money. Dealbreakers. Money. What's your body count? No, I'm just kidding. How many accounts have you blown in your lifetime on trading?
Honestly, are we talking about
let's talk about our losses.
Okay, are we going to talk about...
Let's give some perspective on losses.
Are we going to talk about when I was...
No, we're going to talk about everything. Okay. Everything, from start to finish. How many...
When I started out trading...
Accounts have you blown?
From end of 2017 until 3 quarters into 2018, probably like 24 accounts, 25 accounts.
Oh.
But not major. It's like a couple $100 accounts, $100 accounts, $100 accounts. And then you start getting comfortable and you start making stupid mistakes. The biggest loss I've ever taken on trading account.
That was going to be my second question. After you answered the first question.
Was, I think, close to $7,000. Like...
$7,000. Okay.
I think it was like 7,034, whatever. But it was in that 7,000 range. So
was that the biggest loss you've ever taken?
Yeah, on one trade. Yeah.
On one trade, on one entry.
Yes. Yeah. So not consecutive, like trade. Like I had one trade, big account, blew it, money gone.
That is always like shatters your heart, my bro.
Yeah, and I didn't have money saved. Like that was like all money, like because I was working full time. I was working full time. I just quit my job, went full time with my business. I was doing projects for people on weekends. So like I was a 19-year-old boy bagging, making 40-50k a month. I wouldn't save shit. I was putting everything in trading because like this is my new skill that I want. Blew it, lost money.
But like, did you still have like your job and stuff that could support you?
No, just had my business. Well, when I blew that account, just had my business.
But that you could live off of that at least, no?
No, I was fucked.
Then that was stupid fucking...
Dad paid rent 1 month. Dad paid rent. Next 2 months later. 2 months later, still didn't make enough money back in trading because it was still big. I think it was like months worth of revenge trading that followed that.
Wow. And then, but that's obviously... What's a big problem with psychology?
Yeah.
It was
back then, yeah.
Prime example of never trade with money.
You can't afford to lose.
And
that was the thing.
Never trade with your bread money or your lost money.
And a couple of months after Dad paid rent, I was in the same situation. I told Dad, you're not paying rent again this month. Like, I'm going to move out. Like, I can't. Like,
are we?
This was in 2019.
Yeah.
End of 2019, and I moved out.
And then mans went to revenge trading, which is also...
No, that's after the revenge trading. I just didn't have money anymore. I was like, I can't. I was like, listen, I need to focus on business. I can't.
Then you were just like, fuck, I'm just broke now.
Yeah, I just didn't have money.
Yeah, bro. Biggest lost. And
Yours?
Accounts blown. But I can't believe that you even give a figure. I can't give a figure on accounts blown just because
I think if you add the accounts together, it's a lot of money.
No. I'm not talking about biggest loss. Biggest loss on an entry. I'm just talking about amount of accounts blown. There's been a lot. Like I haven't kept.
I'm considering like accounts $100 over. I'm not talking about like the $10 accounts you blow on scalping. Like that's countless.
I'm also talking about like. But yeah, there's been a lot, of course. But those losses, like, shape you.
I would have had so much money, man.
You know, if you are you really trying if you're not failing? You know, are you really trying that? Or if you don't fail spectacularly, are you really trying?
Look, when it's your 7th blown account in a row, you kind of second guessing this.
No, but the thing is, trading is like training.
Yeah,
I can explain it like training.
Yeah,
bro.
you fail.
It's not just something that you. It's not just something that you always still gonna make mistakes, you know. Yeah. You're just gonna be better, you know. You're gonna be more consistent. It's like training. Like you're not gonna be jacked and tan after 6 months. You think you've been training or trading, and you're the man of the market now, or you're the man of the like whatever. It takes time, bro. It's a skill, and it takes time. You need to be patient, you know, and you get better. Because you learn more and you learn more and you learn more. And you can always, nobody's perfect. You can always learn more and be better with training, with trading itself. So, yeah.
What's your thoughts about relationships and money?
Relationships and money.
Whether you are together with someone and now you lose it all, or now you gain it all, or just like at what point, you know? Because circling back to the topic earlier where like I'm now recently single, I'm saving so much fucking money.
Oh, relationships and money.
And it's just and like I'll never regret the money that was spent, right?
Yeah.
But for me it's just like holy fuck.
Are you like, saving a lot?
Like when we started dating, like end of 2018 we started dating, right? I was living on my own, hustling on the weekends, working a full-time job, making bank. You know, I was fit, you know, good life. But I never had money. I made lots of money, but like
spent a lot of money.
Money came and went. But now, all these years later, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what if you never, like, how much money would you have had?
Yeah, you had bad spending habits.
Oh yeah, no, I love
100%, bro. When I was living with you, bro, like
if I have money, I want to treat everyone. Like,
nah, bro. When you have money, man, that shit bothers you, bro. It burns a hole in your pants, bro. Your wallet.
It used to. I would admit it used
to. Like
yeah.
Even times when we needed money. We were like, we so broke this month.
And then I'll be like, JP,
we need like 20K for this month or some shit. Then you get like I get like
one booking, JP, you get one KFC.
No. It's worse than that, bro. Then you get one booking and they like immediately pay you. Then you have like 10K in your account. Then you're like, I almost need a new iPhone. This thing is 10K. I have 10K. Like it was fucking bad.
And then that was the iPhone that I got scammed out of. Remember the phone that was stolen?
It was bad, my bro. It was bad. And I just remember thinking, my bro, your spending habits.
You know,
because I'm really good with spending. I'm gonna get into the topic of relationships and spending, but when I'm on my own, I'm good with spending. Like I always have really, like, my father taught me how to work with money, so that's something I've at least always been good with. It's not about how much money you make; it's how much you keep as well and reinvest. Obviously, not just gonna save money; you can reinvest as well into assets. But yeah, bro, that was just the fucking funniest thing when I was living with you.
And the worst thing was, I motivated that purchase with like, I use my phone to make money. This is an asset.
Like, you're trying to like rationalize why you need this iPhone.
Like, JP, I know we need 20K.
We need like rent money.
I have
you
10.
Don't have food, bro. Like,
I'm gonna buy an iPhone and McDonald's.
Yo, do you remember when you were like scuttling, like you just need some money for food? Like, I don't even have food left.
Maybe I need to sell the TV, buy the Cash Crusaders.
I was just starting off here. Okay, so here's a little context. Devil was already living in Cape Town, and he actually, I have this man to thank. He actually told me, listen, JP, I was in the West Coast, still an employed trainer. So I was a PT that was employed
Yeah.
by a gym. Now I wanted to make the move to Cape Town to become a freelance personal trainer. So then you're self-employed and you work for yourself, but you also start with nothing.
Yeah.
If you bring nothing, obviously, if you don't have any starting capital, which I didn't have. I was paid very I wasn't paid a lot
Yeah.
as an employed personal trainer, and it was the West Coast, which is a small town vibe.
Sorry,
So-
do you think we need to switch on the lights?
Okay, yeah.
But you talk, and then I'll
Okay, yeah. So this man told me, because he's my homie, and I'll always be grateful for this man. He said, come to Cape Town. I've got an extra room. There is currently someone living there. This was the original plan. There's currently someone living there.
But I'm gonna kick that bitch out.
No, not even that, but you can make a space for you in the living room.
Oh, wait.
Type of shit, ne? And I was like, oh,
It's like, bro,
I'm fully down for this plan, and I'm stressing. I'm like, oh, wait, quiet, okay.
it's like, bro, I'll give you a stretcher. Just come to the living room.
So, and then we made it happen. I moved to Cape Town. We lived together. Luckily, the roommate ended up like leaving.
No, so
As I
his lease expired, and I told him I'm not renewing it.
His lease expired. But this man told me, you can come live rent free until you find your feet. And I was like, oh wait, just bro. That's why I would never shy away from helping Dealbreakers or my homeboys. If any of my homies who are really my homies, I would never shy away from really helping them in whatever way. Not necessarily if they broke, but like in any way. So
We're taking JP's car tonight because my car's giving issues again.
you see the clutch. Devil, what's wrong with your clutch?
No, they know about the timing belt, right? Timing belt gets fixed. Now my car doesn't want to go into gear. The clutch cable is just slipping.
No,
and
it's
slipping.
either the clutch cable or like something there. Like that thing is.
I found now the clutch doesn't release.
Is it?
Like when I started it now, I started to reverse it in. When I started, the car immediately started going back, bro.
It's like the clutch is not engaging properly, and now you say it's not even releasing properly.
Like the clutch. Remember when you push it, the clutch.
Yeah,
it disengages.
Yes.
So now it's not like when I push it in, it's not even lifting far enough. So the
oh wow, it's not like that's what I mean by not engaging.
Yeah.
It's like it's not even releasing. Oh wow, bro. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So now then I made the move to Cape Town, and that's where it all started.
And then I kicked you out after 2 months because
Nah,
I fucked off.
that's lies. Our lease ended after 2 months. Remember, your lease ended in Feb,
Yes.
and then we both, because you were like going on the cruise ships and stuff, we went our separate ways because there was no point in getting a flat together because you were leaving soon anyways.
If only I knew I was only leaving like 8 months later, but
Yeah, exactly. So then you went to Estelle, which is your dad's girlfriend,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And then I went and I rented a room from this other uncle and stuff.
was that uncle a burger?
That uncle, man. What was that uncle?
Or was he like a
No,
a
you
snack?
see-
Was he a snack
You
burger?
see Afrikaans oomies with the beer bellies. You can't really call them a burger. They're more like a sticky garlic roll. They're like
so
they're like
here's-
a society with like a garlic
But
roll.
listen, don't leave out this context. JP didn't know that the lease was expiring and that I'm not going to renew it
Yeah.
before he came to Cape Town. JP literally moved in and I was like, bro, can we talk? And JP's like, what's up? And I'm like,
It's like, bro, we need
I'm
to
like,
move
bro,
in
listen,
2
I just want to
months.
let you know the lease is expiring. Like you moved in like end of December, like start of January.
Yeah, like as the year ended and the new year started.
Yeah.
This is now end of Jan 21, end of 2021, start of 2022.
Yes. And so, and you were there like, I'm like, JP, can we talk? It's like, yeah. It's like, listen, bro, I know you just got here, but end of next month, you need to get the fuck.
Yeah, we
out of
both
it.
need to move.
Yeah.
Like, legit. And that's why we were scuttling for money because you were broke. Because you were because of your fucking spending habits.
Fair.
And I was broke because I was just starting out and I was just starting to make money as a PT, client, like building that client base. So, and we had 1 month left and I needed to obviously make, what's it even called? I needed to make rent for the new place.
Yeah.
And
Deposit and rent.
And deposit, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Deposit and rent. And then obviously other living expenses. So I needed to like make
I still
some
own,
bag.
I still technically own Key West like 9K.
Oh,
And there's load shedding.
load shedding.
But anyways, the reason I'm not paying it is because I told Haley, I was like, listen, I wanted to get out.
Do you really want to mention the names here? Like of the
No, I'll beep it out, whatever. But
okay.
but I
fair.
told the landlord, like way back, right before it was even talks that you were coming to me. I told her like, hey, I might leave to the ships. I want to like end this contract early, right? And usually there's like a cancellation fee. I was like, cool, I'll pay the fee if I have to. And she said, no, you tied into this contract. Like you can't, for some reason, like they wouldn't let me cancel the contract.
Oh, wow. But was it in the terms and conditions though?
So she told me, or they, them, whatever, told me that no, my contract doesn't stay like it can be. There's no end early clause type thing in there, right? And I believed her because I was like, you know what, I believed you. And so for like a couple of months, I left it. And then literally like, as we were about to like move out and I owed them like a month's rent because I was late the 1 month because like, you know, spending habits just before you came. And I digged up my contract and I saw there was a whole thing there and I phoned them. I was like, listen, I wanted to end back then. Here it says I could have ended it. These were your terms and conditions.
Is it?
And you told me there wasn't. So I refused to give you that money because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't still be here and I wouldn't owe you this money.
Yeah.
But you didn't want to let me go and you told me my contract doesn't say anything.
Yeah, but obviously you can't really do that.
But I did.
Yeah, but you know that like, I mean, if you wanted to like really not pay them the money, you need to take it more up like legally.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, nah, just because I'm like.
No. And what I did tell them.
I'm not gonna pay you the money.
Tell them
they
not
obviously
one person.
their company, their business. They're not gonna just sit and let it slide.
And what I did tell them, I was like, listen, because what they ended up doing is the deposit I was supposed to get back, they took that, right? So I was like, okay, fair enough, because I do owe you that money. But then they wanted me to pay like something on top of that for some reason. And I was like, listen, I don't have this money. This is why I'm moving out. Like, I'm broke. When I go to the ships, I'll give you this money, right? Because what you have is you have your credit score, but then you have a renting credit score, which I only found out like it's separate. And they were like, no, we will like tick you because you missed rent, like on that. And I told them all like, hey, listen, you've got your deposit now, whatever, but now you want this extra money. I don't have it. And they were like, no, like you need to pay it or we're going to...
Yeah, they don't care though. At the same time, they don't really care. Bro, they don't care. They're not going to care if you tell them.
And I was like, listen, I don't owe you this money, but now you want to charge me this extra shit for some reason, which I will give you. Just let me get to the ships.
No, but you did owe them that.
Yeah, but they took what I owed them, they took from...
No, you owed them more than what they took.
No.
Yes, that's what you said.
No, my deposit on the place was 9.5. I think I owned them 9.3 or something.
No, but you just said... You also said, did you still owe them 9 something?
No. Well...
Before you started this conversation.
Yeah, sorry, so mine. But anyways, so apart from that, they took that from the deposit. And then they had some extra 3-4 grand fee that they added on top. And I was like, well, listen, I'll pay this. Just let me get to the ships. And they were like, no, we don't care.
Was it like a rent late fee almost?
I don't know. I have to go check because I have the contracts and the documents and stuff.
No, this legal things, obviously you have to...
It's all just bullshit, man. I was just like, hey, man, like...
They always have...
Yeah.
Like, they always...
But you know what? I was haragat, like a South Afrikaner. I told them, like, listen, if you let me go when I wanted to go, and I would have cancelled it, like, according to the clause, then we wouldn't have these issues.
Yeah, but they're not gonna.
No, but they told me it's not in your contract. Meanwhile, it's in my contract. So then I told them, listen, this fuck up is because you told me it's not in my contract. Meanwhile, it is. Right? So, whatever. Gone. But anyways, that's like history now.
I get you. Yeah, but...
This is getting very dark.
These companies, they don't really care.
Yeah.
What I can do is I have a lamp.
Let's use a lamp. And, okay, yeah, we're back.
Ja. Wat het jy gesê nou net?
Okay, so I now like this past couple of weeks, and I see the money stacking, you know, because I don't have those expenses I would have had. I now understand why they always, a lot of these people on social media preach like, don't get into relationships or anything unless your life and your finances are sorted. Because for me, it's like, I said this in my relationship as well. I said it's like, there's no use my bank statements every month shows like there's a like 50, 60, 70k going through it, but at the end of the month there's not like 5k in it. You know, this was an issue I had up until like a couple months back.
Is that what your bank statements is showing you?
Yeah, it used to. I really think only about 3-4 months ago I actively started being like, okay, I need to save money, because there's no use in making lots of money if you don't have lots of money.
I get you.
Oh, my bank statement showed last month I made 60k, but I'm freaking stressing just to buy you KFC.
Obviously, that's what I said earlier. If you have a spending problem, it doesn't matter how much you make.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to burn through everything. You're going to find a way. That's sad. You're going to find a way to just burn through that cash. And that's why you need to be good with managing your finances, making good financial decisions, and, you know, long-term gain over short-term gratification. That's a very, like, validation seeking, novelty seeking sort of thing, and sort of a habit to have. Bad habits, bad money habits.
Yeah. Do you have any...
Yes, some words of wisdom.
Yeah. Words of wisdom, motivation.
Words of wisdom. Second quote of the day.
Oh, shit.
Second quote of the day. Skills get you income or gives you income. Income or skills buy you income. Or attracts income, let's just say. I don't know what the correct words is. Skills equals income.
Yes.
Income equals assets. So you use the income, you buy assets.
Yeah.
Assets equals
Passive income.
wealth.
Wealth.
Financial freedom.
Yeah.
Second quote of the day. Skills, income, assets, freedom. Assets buys you freedom.
Fair.
Yeah.
Do you truly believe there's such a thing as... So people describe passive income as...
Oh, we're talking about passive income.
No. People say like, oh, I want to make passive income. I don't have to work a day in my life. Like...
No.
I also don't believe there's no such thing. Even people who come into trading be like, I'm going to trade, You still have to put in the hours of work and learning, and like you're always going to do something.
Like, number one, you need to do an exceptional about... Here's my view. You need to do an exceptional amount of work to achieve passive income.
Yeah.
Number one, right off the bat. Like, to be able to have things that generate income so that you don't so that you can do nothing, you need to have worked hard to be able to put those whatever protocols into place, those machines, whatever. The machine driving force behind your passive income, you needed to have worked exceptionally hard for that, just by with effort or time or, you know, whatever. And then even when you have passive income, no, you're still gonna need to be doing at least a little bit, whether it's, you never just ever gonna be able to leave it. Like, let's talk about real estate. You'll still need to keep an eye on and keep a hand on your tenants at the cuck and the whatever. You know, there's always gonna be problems that's gonna pop up, new tenants that you now need to get or whatever. You always need to keep your hand on, need to do little
keep
things.
Your finger in a piece of the pie.
You need to keep your hand on your business or your whatever. Otherwise, she's gonna run amok. You know, that's just with like real estate, other passive income, like let's say just investings. Like, you'll still need to like just keep an eye out if you're gonna see that your investment's gonna dip.
Do you think,
like, let's say the market crashes?
Yeah. Do you think people confuse the term passive income with residual income? Because residual incomes mean incomes that like keeps coming in, like flowing, like it's constantly coming in. And people think of passive income like, oh, I'm making money every month and I'm not doing much. Like, do you think they confuse the two?
I think they think it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like,
because passive means like you're actively doing something.
I think like passive income is like...
Maybe I just sounded so stupid.
Passive income is just like, it's not like you're not self-employed. You're not working for yourself. It's just
you've done stuff that generates income.
There's something generating passive income. You're making money while you sleep.
Yeah, and you just need to, but you still need to manage it, or some parts of it.
There will be some part that you'll still need to manage, you know, at the end of the day. But the people who are usually gunning for passive income, you should, not that you shouldn't gun, and not that it's a bad thing, but this is where you can make a mistake when gunning for passive income. Is those people generally don't want to work hard.
Yeah.
Because they want that passive income, they want that easy, but that's already a problem with your mindset. Because just the fact that you want it easy means already that you're not willing to work hard, which already means you're not going to get to your passive income that you want. You see how that's like a cycle.
Yeah, and you lack discipline.
You don't want to work hard, bruh. You know, you want to stay in your comfort zone.
You become low value.
You're a low value male.
JP, let's move on to life. Give us an example of a few things a man or woman or
Man
they
or
them
woman.
can
Or a non-binary person.
yes can do to make themselves high value.
High value, bro.
And if you want to break it up, you can break it up, you know.
It just means being lekker in all aspects of your life, whether it be relationships, whether it be religion, spirituality, financial, like personal development, every single avenue of your life, you are just at the pinnacle, you know, and you keep on maintaining. You're not just you getting there and then you let go. Like you just keep on improving and just aim and aspire to be a high value individual. Like, are you asking like specifically?
Let's go back on something we spoke about earlier, right? Because we spoke about a lot of things today, and every time it's just like your podcast topic.
Okay.
We spoke about training,
MMA
training, me training on my own.
Training. Oh, you want to talk about the topic?
Whereas I want you to give them the reasoning behind what you said. So we spoke about, like I mentioned, I literally feel like I want to come back to Cape Town, just get like a 1-bedroom, just a bed.
Just like some bachelor pad.
Dude, just like a place to put my bed, my desk, and where I can make food, and then that's just for the fact that I can get back into training, like MMA and
just
stuff.
Like get to like a proper dojo.
And then I mentioned, because right now I'm training on my own at home, and yeah, while I know like it doesn't make me train as hard as I can when I train here, I'm still training.
Yeah.
And then you said, well, then you asked me, like, does that make you high value because you know you could be doing better but you're not?
No, that's not
or
what
like,
I asked.
you know you could work hard, you know you could train harder, but you're not. They said, but I'm still training, I'm still showing up and training.
No, I said you are low value. I said you were low value
now
male.
Explain why. Because I want this on video.
Because you almost said everything that I said after that, but you just didn't say what I said. I said you were low value, and you were like, why am I low value?
Yeah, because I'm still training.
And then I said, Devald, if you met someone that is telling you that exact story, because you obviously know how much and what effort you put in, no? The effort you put in your training. So you know, like, the unfiltered, like, you know the truth behind your program and your training. Now, if someone came along and he told you exactly what his program was, and that's your program that you did, are you going to think that he is a high value male or a low value male? And what did you tell me?
I gave you an answer with 2 contexts.
No, but I was just like, high value or low value, because you know. And then you said,
I want to give all my answers I gave you.
Okay.
So the first answer I gave was, I said if we look at it purely from the fact that this guy has no other choice, like he can't train without, like he trains on his own and he still shows up and trains, high value because he's disciplined.
No, but that's not true.
But second answer, if you look at it from the perspective of this guy knows, for example, how much or how hard he can train and he doesn't.
Exactly.
Low value.
Exactly. And what is your view on a high value male? Is it somebody that just shows up? Or
no, but you got to push to the extreme.
Is your view of being a proper high value, like in terms of training, like, is it just like, even though you're training at home, you're still giving it your utmost all, and then I ask you, you know that this guy's not giving his utmost all. Is he still high value? And then you said,
if you're consciously aware that I'm slacking but I'm alright with it, no, you're low value.
Of course. And that's sort of just a topic we spoke about. It was like a funny thing.
I do feel like if I'm training and I stand there and I'm like,
that was just like a meme.
And then I try and get like 50 punches in still. It's like, okay, I feel like that's kind of a high value because I'm trying to push. I do know if I come here, I will suffer.
That is a weird way of thinking about things. Like, is my training high value?
No, just like, no, not my training. Just
no, I'm not saying that you think about it. I'm just saying this whole topic that we're discussing, I'm making a meme out of it.
But it gets to the point of like, what do you consider? Like, because you just said being a lacquer. But you must
being like
but you must excel at being like, well, exactly. you must always try
like being at the pinnacle
to keep and to go higher than the pinnacle, bro. Like making
you're obviously aiming for the stars, bro.
Yeah.
But you also, at the same time, that being said, everyone has a, like, how can I say this, like a certain view, a certain like image of how they want their life to be. Not everyone is essentially wanting to be going. Not everyone wants to essentially be millionaires.
Yeah.
They just want to be like, some people value family. They just want to be stable. They want a family. They just want to be lacquer. They don't want any cuck. And that's fine, because that is what they want. That is their preference, you know.
Yeah.
And then other people, they want a gun for more, and that is fine as well. So both are fine. And if both are gunning and they're not causing cuck and they're not slacking, then they're both high value. Because they both obviously, if it's not like, oh, my preference is to be a Satanist, you are not, because you're on your purpose to become a Satanist. Like,
therefore
this is not obviously an extreme exaggeration, just to prove a point. Then obviously you're not low value. Then you can't use that. Then you're not high value. Then you can't use that logic. Like, oh yeah, you on your purpose, you doing everything you need to become a Satanist. You are high value.
That's saying you're doing the wrong thing
with regards,
but because you're doing it to your utmost extreme and you keep pushing, that makes you high value.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it doesn't work like that,
because you're still causing cuck.
With regards to good things,
yeah,
and normal things, you know, if you're gunning for that purpose, because not everyone wants to be this whole like Wolf of Wall Street type of guy. That's obviously not how we are. We are trying to be like that. We trying to just be the best versions of ourselves. Be like, we just want to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Like in that regard, like we just want to be fucking whales, bro.
I
want to put in a cell, bro. That market must fucking drop.
But now, in saying that, I had a question.
Tell me, Dale.
But because we were talking about like pushing to the extremes, right? But do you then also believe there are different, like you can say high value, medium value, low value. Do you think there are different tiers in the high value? Because if you're pushing to be your absolute best, massive, like best house, massive amounts of money, super successful, taking care of your family the best possible ways, high value, right? For example. Then you get the other guy who's like, man, just want a house, family, 9-to-5 job, consistent. Also high value because he pushes for what he wants and that's it. Do you consider them two different levels of high value?
I think that depends on every individual's view and sort of level of respect that they will have for that specific scenario. So for me, even though I'm not just a Joe Schmo family guy, like I'm a family guy, but I'm also like very like violently ambitious. Like, but if I meet someone who's not violently ambitious, but he's just like a Joe Schmo, he just, you know, he's doing the things, you know, he has a stable job, he has like a whatever wife, family, kids, he's a good husband, he looks after them, you know, healthy, happy family. I'm not going to think, obviously, low value guy, I'm going to think like, oh wait, just like
he's doing his thing.
He's doing his thing.
He is where he wants to be.
He is where he wants to be. He's happy. You know, that I'm more of a to each their own type of guy. I'm going to have a lot of respect for him. The same amount of respect that I'll have for someone who is like that I would look up to in terms of where I would want to be. There'd be more admiration for the guy,
of course,
because that's different than respect. But respect would be like equal, because you respect others respect you if you disrespect me. You know,
like you said, the respect is equal, the admiration is different because the other guy in the hierarchy is on a different level.
But I'd admire him differently than what I would admire the family guy, the 9-to-5. I would maybe admire something if I see a specific quality that I would maybe want to have one day, or a specific like whatever, something that panned out in his life that I would want one day. I'd admire him for that. I'd be like, wow, he's such a good father for his kids.
Yeah,
I would want to be like that one day. Then I'd admire him for that. Like, it's all about taking those qualities and things about people.
Yeah, it's like saying
taking the best and leaving the cup.
Sorry, it's like saying, let's say you've got two guys. This guy's 50, wife, kids, good household, successful. And then you have the other guy, also 50, lone man, massive amounts of wealth, all the earthly things.
Ferrari type
No, not that. All the earthly things that you could want, the cars, the watches, the whatever, the lifestyle. You would admire him differently than you would admire this guy. You would admire this guy for like, I would like those earthly things, and then this guy, the other guy, you would admire for like, I would also want those family things. And
100%, I agree. What about you? The same scenario, same question.
Pretty much what I said. Like,
you basically agree with everything I say.
Bro, I want a massive fucking house. I want my Lambo. I want my wife. I want kids. I want the family
wanna be-
aspect, but I also want my big ass house. I want my
Yeah.
home gym. I want my cars. I want that.
And sometimes we have to sacrifice for that. Let's just hope it's not the family one day.
What does chess teach you? Sometimes you gotta sacrifice
the
the queen.
Sacrifice the bitch to win. Shame.
Yeah, look, it's very unfortunate in my context
The
in this situation,
patriarchy,
but
bruh.
yeah, it's very.
Patriarchy.
I will say I do agree with what Tate says about chess and how it teaches you about
What?
life. It teaches you about life in the sense of like, if you fail or if you make a mistake,
Yeah.
that is on you. Like in chess, for example, you can make a mistake, but you don't know it's a mistake until you end up losing.
Then you realize like multiple moves back.
And like Tate
you
says,
fucked
it
up.
teaches you self accountability as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. Teaches you to take responsibility
It's like
for your actions.
when I broke up with my girlfriend, right? I told her, fuck, I'm not sure if this is the right decision, but it's the only decision I can make right now.
Yeah.
Is it a mistake? I don't know.
It's like Jordan Peterson, what he said.
Yeah, I'll probably only know in 5 years from now, but I'm accountable for that.
Yeah. Like Jordan Peterson said, he said, it doesn't matter what your experience is or where you come from, like whatever, what your background is. Even though it might not be the right plan, whatever plan you think and the best possible plan with your amount of experience and knowledge that you can create now in this moment, do that and put it into practice. It's not necessarily going to be the right plan, but at least it's going to push you in that direction. You're maybe going to fail, formulate another one, and you're going to learn as you go, you know. That's exactly that. It might not be the right plan, but this is what you can, this is basically the best thing that you can think of right now, even though it might be wrong. So,
JP, what makes a high value woman for you?
a high value woman.
Yes.
Because
listen, I'm saying women because we are interested in
of course,
females.
because we spoke about
If you're
high
interested
value
in
men,
another gender or other partner or other thing, just apply this to that. But
or just whatever,
Yeah.
apply your own stuff to
Yeah.
whoever. High value woman, bro.
in any context, relationship, dating, friendship,
So-
whatever.
For me, high value woman is someone who's just as violently ambitious as I am. That is one of the most attractive traits a girl can have. Honestly, when I meet an ambitious girl, bro, I met one of these girls the other day, and I was like, this person, you know, this is
You called it like she might be your weakness, like.
shush, because I don't want to.
No, you don't have to give it away, but I mean, you can.
I don't want to
you can
elaborate too
explain,
much
yeah.
and have this person watch this podcast,
Of course.
and then knowing that I'm talking about them, because I'm trying to keep it on the low key. I'm not even trying to pursue this person.
Yeah. Fair enough.
No, I'm just avoid. No, but I'm somewhat off my story now.
I made you nervous.
You can see how this one affects me.
But let
Violently ambitious.
But let this be of show that this is the effect that such a valuable
this is the
trait
effect
can
she has
have on
me.
you when
Yes.
you talk about it.
This is what I'm going to talk about now. You know, girls usually, this is just the reality. We are more into like aesthetics. Obviously the personality must match aesthetics. But for us, it's very important. Like aesthetically,
Aesthetics as in visual.
aesthetically, she must be pleasing to whatever your preferences
Yes.
is when you like look at a girl. And girls are more stimulated by like emotions, like the personality of the guy.
And we're
Obviously,
logical.
there is. I'm not saying that there's not exceptions, but I'm just saying in general.
We're just
We're always
generalizing.
generalizing. Girls, like, they get a kick out of like emotional stimulation, and guys, we like physically stimulating. Like, yes, look at this girl. Now, this was probably one of the first and most like, not that it hasn't happened, but not to this extent, where I've met someone and their appearance like faded away just because of I experienced what a girl experienced, basically, that like this specific trait of her and like this personality of this girl is like so sexy, bro.
The
Like
rest doesn't matter.
like it just makes it 10 times more attractive. Like then I could be like, I understand now. Like this is how girls usually. This is why you'd see like a hot ass chick with like an ugly guy, like subjectively ugly. Not subjectively, objectively ugly. In general.
Yeah.
Because obviously. So because maybe that guy has like some shit. He's like super funny, bro, and he just makes her feel a certain type of way. And because of that makes a guy just like a 10 in her eyes. Because it doesn't matter how he looks. So high value woman, violently ambitious. Someone who is absolutely unobtainable, high value. That's why that's why we want low body counts, That's why we want a girl that respects us. That's why we want someone that doesn't talk behind our back. That's high value stuff. Like, but for both partners, obviously, as well. But like when it comes to women and girls, like respect, loyalty, like trust. Someone who's just like ambitious, bro, mature, communication. Like all of these things are just like all the normal things of a relationship that you want. And as a person as well, like if they're kind, like when you touched on the subject of server, like how they treat the servers, they must be kind, they must be conscientious as well at the same time. I talked about this topic in the restaurant today, about the girl who's a pushover. Like something that I don't like is when someone is very helpful, but because they're a people pleaser and they get validation from that, but that also leads to them being taken for granted. And sort of people abusing that nice part of them and using them, because that puts you in an awkward position as a boyfriend, because number one, it's going to create unnecessary conflict. If you like go up and be like, listen, like you are too nice to people, because she may not feel that way. She's like, no, whatever. Creates unnecessary conflict. You also can't trip out and be like, hey, why are you just using my girl? Or like, why are you sort of taking advantage of the fact that she's so helpful? So conscientiousness means that it's someone who's kind, it's someone who's conscious, and they're very helpful. They never shy away from helping someone in need, but they're also very aware at the same time when someone is using them or not, when they're being taken advantage of. And that's very attractive. What about you, Devald? What's a high value woman? And obviously someone who looks after themselves in every single possible way.
Don't say things I was gonna say. Like
someone who takes care of themselves in every single possible way, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, like your mental health, spiritually, like Christian girl, like, and obviously physically. I'm a personal trainer. If you're gonna look after your body, if you're gonna do an activity, it's gonna be attractive to me. You, Devald?
Bro, you're taking everything I would say.
You basically you agree.
Yeah, especially that, and
I feel most men would agree on everything we say when it comes to that.
Just morals, man. Like
morals and values, bro. Like where your morals and your values lie.
I have no problem with girls going to the club, if it's purely like not as a girlfriend.
I do.
No. Just like not if she's your girlfriend. Just like that's a random girl, she goes to the club. If you're going out purely to have fun, which is hardly ever the case, cool. If you go out to like hook up and whatever, nah, it's off. Like
it depends on how what the vibe is. What's the context of going to the club? Is it because she's not really a club goer and then her friends invite her out every now and again and it's like a friendly? That's normal. That's fine.
That's fine.
But if it's just someone that goes to the club every weekend,
I mean, let's be frank. Why would the two of us go to a club?
Yeah, that's.
We would just want to go to some random place with music and drink. That's look at some baddies, man.
That's why I wouldn't like.
If you're in a relationship, like no,
it's the same as with the smoking thing, because I don't drink. Because automatically I would want.
We drink water when we go to the club.
Yeah, literally, water. Like I don't drink, no. So automatically I would want someone who's the same. Not necessarily don't drink, just don't drink much. Like, but yes,
don't be the girl that gets drunk every weekend.
Yes, that's not attractive. Yeah, it shows us again novelty seeking.
Yeah,
like fear of missing out. They want that rush. They want that stimulation. The whole time. Automatically, luckily, the type of girls I go for, relationship wise, they're already not big drinkers, and because I'm not a drinker, they drink even less because I influence them. Just because, it's a thing with girls, like, hey, do you want to get Starbucks? No, I don't want Starbucks. No, but then I'm not going to be able to get Starbucks because I want you to have Starbucks with me. That's the same with drink. Alcohol's even worse. Like, if you're not going to drink, I'm not going to drink because then I look like the alcoholic type of, and I'm the girl, which is like, she should be the, the social stigma. She should be the calm one, and the guy's more like the rowdy drinking guy type. So they don't want to look like that. So that at least plays into my favor.
I think a woman is supposed to represent a man in every possible aspect, and the man the same as a woman.
Yes,
I
100%.
I always said,
you're my queen, I'm your king.
yeah, and I always said, but I'm going to make a statement, and I want you to let me just finish it. I always said a woman's job is to make other women jealous of her husband, and a man's job is to make other men jealous of his woman. In the context of when you walk with your lady, right, and other people notice how you are with her and how you like treat her and how you guys are together, like other women must go like, that girl is so lucky to have a man like that, and vice versa, bro. If you hang with your girl and your bros are all around there, when your girl leaves or when you two leave, the bros are supposed to be like,
oh yeah,
like
that guy's so lucky.
That guy's he's got one amazing girlfriend.
Because that guy's so lucky because they know even if they would try, bro, they'd never ever be able to handle. Like the reason why is like, I'm sure you have homies who have girlfriends, and you in your mind you think like, this guy has a solid girl, because we know girls as well and we know guys, and you just think to yourself, and you can see how they are behind their backs, like when their boyfriend is not there, then you just think this is a solid girl. Like this girl would never do anything to their boyfriend, they'd never harm him, they'd never disrespect him, they'd never like cheat on him, and that's the type of girl we want. You know,
I will say one thing that I do pick
there's
up,
girls like that, because I have homies who have girlfriends, and I'm like, he won. He won. Just because we can see how exclusive and unobtainable that girl is, and how down she is for him.
One thing I will say that I have experienced is like, let's say we go to bar, me, my friend, his girlfriend or his new girlfriend, whatever, we play pool. Now my homie goes to the bathroom, right? Now this girl comes to me like, so tell me this is, it's weird.
It depends.
No, it's weird, but it's like, why the fuck are you talking to me?
It depends.
Like,
is she on friendly terms with you though? Have you been friends for years?
No. So let's say you get a girlfriend.
It's just a new girlfriend.
Like let's say you get a girlfriend right now, right? Me and you, we go to Stones, we go play some pool, short, whatever. Now you are like, okay, we're in a pool, you're going to go to the bathroom quickly. I would respect your girl more if your girl just stands there.
No. I'm not of the same mind as that.
No. If you just like, let's say we were having a conversation and you leave, right? If me and your girl was having a conversation and you leave to go to the bathroom, we can finish the conversation. But if you walk around the table, because I've had this happen, if you walk around the table, you come stand next to me, and you start talking to me and this and all that, like, no problem with that. But I'm also going to be like, if you keep the conversation going, a part of me will be like, listen, your man's not here. Why are you even though I'm his bro, why are you entertaining other men?
No, I wouldn't. No, because it's not entertaining other men. It depends on the context at the same time.
Everything has context.
Everything depends on the context. So that's why you just can't make something like, you can't just blatantly just
like, okay, I'll make a statement like this,
why
but
are you
we understand there's context behind it.
Why are you just entertaining? Because it's not necessarily like that. It depends on the context. If you as a guy, because remember we guys, now we always think like, this girl's coming on to me because we never get attention. Meanwhile, she's just being friendly. And most girls, like, they're always overly friendly.
But we can suss out when it's a different type.
No, we can't always. That's what I'm saying. We can't always suss it out because we're stupid, bruh. We are stupid as guys when it comes
if we lack female attention, we're stupid, yeah.
Yeah, bruh. You see.
But we're almost not lacking female attention. Okay, but we're speaking
generalizing, yeah?
Yes.
So that's the thing. It depends on the context. Me personally, I've experienced both ends of the spectrum. I've experienced overly talkative, like very extroverted girlfriends where they would like socialize with everything and everyone, and like it's really just because that is who they are. It's not like they're entertaining other people. It's literally just because they are so social butterflies now, and it's just, that is just who they are. And the other side as well, someone who's super reserved, super introverted, like the extremes is always annoying.
Yeah.
Extremely reserved and quiet and social. You don't want that from a girlfriend, because then she's never going to be able to communicate or be friends with your homies.
Of course. She's
always just going to be like your shadow. You know, if you leave, then your girl is there and she's just like quiet and she's nothing without you. Like,
okay,
what is your homies gonna think, bro? They're just
this girl's a bitch. Why the fuck she's not talking to me?
They're just gonna think like, what's wrong with this? We just
maybe
we're in a social environment, and on the other side, like, it's also annoying when it's too much of a social butterfly.
Where this girl's constantly like,
they're just like, just running with it, and like the whole night they disappear and they're just like social. That's annoying as well. You want balance. Okay,
let's change the context of the situation.
So,
let's say you and your girl go out.
Let me say this about that statement. I agree with if the girl is, if you can notice, if you're not stupid, and if you notice like this girl is really like entertaining you, or like trying to like suss out the homies, like she's like trying to be flirty. There's a very fine line between flirty and friendly when it comes to girls. We need to remember. But if you are very aware and you are smart, like, aware of like the flirty and the friendly, if you can sense like, nah, this is more flirty and this is wrong, then I agree with you. And then I disagree with if it's just a friendly one, obviously.
Yeah, but we both know that sometimes girls in a friendly manner will kind of be flirty to try and get in your good books.
No, not necessarily.
No, not always, but when it happens.
I don't really think that as well. I just literally take it as it is. I'm just going to suss out this girl. I'm just going to be like, is she just being friendly? Okay, cool, then it's just fine. Or is she going to be flirty? Then I'm just going to be like, nah.
Okay, let's change the context. You and your girl go to the bar, you play pool. Now these two oaks come, you guys play together, you know, because you always play doubles. Oh wait, listen, I'm just going to go to the bathroom quickly. You come back, this girl's chatting to these guys, like proper, like chatting.
What? Depends. You going to the bar with your homies, no?
No, you go to the bar with your girl.
Yeah.
You guys play some pool. Two guys rock up, you know, like, okay, we're going to play doubles. You're going to go against them.
It depends on what
something happens, you got to go to the bathroom, you come back, you see your chicks actively like talking there. Like,
it depends on again, this is all it depends. I'm not that insecure in my relationship that I'm going to be like, why are you talking to other guys?
But you would notice that.
No, I wouldn't even. Because it's a social, you need to always remember it's a social environment. What do you expect?
I think I have issues, bro.
What do you expect her to do? Just stand there, not socialize with the guys you've just been playing with? Obviously, she should just, you know, respect you and not obviously. She should stay in a lane in terms of like not do anything disrespectful when she's in the conversation with the guys, because the guys will tend to always be the one ending up going to the girl, making conversations. We are more like in those environments. It's a more threatening environment for a girl. You know, if you come back and she's fucking hanging on the guy and like, oh my god, laughing and like touching, that's concerning, obviously, because you don't want that like physicality going on. But if she's just like, the guys are there and they're talking and it's like normal, social, you know, then it's normal, then it's fine.
Do you agree? You know? Do you agree us as men are always aware of what we do?
In terms of? Give me context. Give me
like we're
specifics.
aware, bro. Like
aware of what?
Like let's say you do something and you fuck up. You've known when you go do something, you might fuck up.
No, because there's lots of dumb guys out there that are just not self-aware. And like, I'm just like, how are you so stupid, bro? You lack self-awareness.
But do you think they're truly self-aware? Do you just think they just don't care? Do you think they know and they're just like, I don't care?
No, I think they just lack self-awareness. I think most humans do. The amount of good people and the amount of bad people out there is... The amount of good people or like normal whatever's is much less than the amount of cuck people out there in any which way you want to see it. Like whether it's like a good human being or good whatever, or you high value, low value, alpha, beta, like there's always going to be a minority of the things that are actually good out there, whether it be male, female, whatever. Like, I don't think it's a men or women thing. I'm not like someone that is like, men versus women type of thing. Like, no,
just in general.
Just like, I'm just aware. People are cuck.
Do you think women are
People
aware,
are good.
Okay, now this is a question to the woman. Do you think women are aware of the psychological power they have when they go to a bar, or like
the psychological power?
In the sense of like, they know if they go to the bar, and there's a guy there, they know, like, you know, there's a high chance if they go talk to that guy, she's going to get free drinks, she's going to get hit on, she's going to get attention.
Well, yeah, obviously. I think she's aware.
Do you think most women are aware of like, but not in that, just like, not just in that sense, but like in most cases, like, do you think like most women are aware, like if they act a certain way, like they can get certain results easier?
But yeah, I think they're aware, but what of that awareness? What are you actually asking? Like,
we're just talking self-awareness here.
Okay, yeah, so I think they're aware.
Because my question about the men was kind of similar, but men are kakton, so.
No, but like, the thing is, that's a question, and then I give a statement, and then like, but it feels like you want to try and lead to something more. Like, what are you actually asking? I feel that way,
but I don't know what I'm leading towards.
Like, what are you actually asking? Because then I can just give you a blank statement. Yes, I think they're aware. Now what?
Yeah, cool.
You see, are you trying to make me elaborate on the subject? Like, oh no, all these just fucking bitches out there.
Like, have you ever like looked at someone and be like, I know exactly why the fuck you're doing that?
No, I mind my business. Like I already told you this. Like if you're thinking those cuck about people, if you like judging people and stuff, like then it's like, obviously I judge people, but I don't. I try at least.
Yeah.
I try to be fucking
understanding.
Not understanding, just not.
Aram. You try to be.
I'm trying to be aram. I'm trying at least to keep my thoughts in check.
Yeah.
And to check myself.
To evaluate yourself.
Yeah, to check myself. So when I realize I'm like that, then I'm just like, no. Because if I'm like that, then I'm just the cuck one.
Okay, coming back to the
So what people do is
thing.
their own problem. That's my finishing line. What people do in bars and cuck, like, I can see what you're doing, but that's your own problem, bro. I'm not gonna focus on you. I'm there to enjoy my time. I'm not walking around thinking, oh yeah, look at that guy. Oh yeah, look at that girl. Yeah, she's just getting free drinks. Oh yeah, you see that guy? No, I just don't do that. I try not to do that, at least.
So when I asked you about the self-awareness thing of like, maybe men sometimes know they're gonna do shit and then they fuck up and then they're not care. Do you think they hit like a self-awareness like phase at one point? In the sense of like, I've done shit where I wasn't self-aware in that moment, ended up being a fuck up. Later that day, I'll be like, or later now I'll be in my bed and then I'll get like the self-awareness moment of like, oh shit, like.
What you mean? Like
let's say you do something in the moment and you're not self-aware of the consequences or anything, or like of the impact, and then later that night you realize like, oh shit, this could have gone.
Are you asking me, do I think people have those moments?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Alright.
Okay, but what about that?
So then, so then my statement of people are self-aware, but not necessarily always, or consciously always self-aware.
So what about it? What do you want to say?
No,
about
I just want to confirm like a theory that I have.
But that's not even a theory. That is like you asking me, do people have thoughts? Yes, people have thoughts. Thank you for confirming my theory.
Do you think they're always conscious about knowing the fact that they have thoughts?
Do you think people are conscious, Deval? Thank you for confirming with. Do you see why it's so weird to answer your questions? Because I don't know really what you're asking. Are you asking me, are men more self-aware than women? Is that what you're asking? Because you like, do you think men have a moment of self-awareness? Well, I think people have moments of self-awareness, bruh. Like men, women, like what?
I think the question was more like, do you think people are always self-aware?
The answer is no.
Or do you think you get majority, like most a group people of people that are always like?
No,
we're all cuck.
We all cuck.
Nice.
Obviously, self-awareness is a high value trait. Do I think all people are high value? No, I think a very small minority of people are high value.
I've got one last question.
Tell me.
What scares you about yourself?
What scares me about myself?
Or not necessarily scare, but you can call it scare.
This is a deep question.
You can call it scare, or something that you wonder about sometimes that you're not really
something
sure about.
That I wonder about. No.
It scares you, or you're not sure, or like there's something,
Something that you're fearful of with yourself.
Maybe.
What scares you, dear? Do
you want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
So I've had moments in my relationship or my previous relationship,
because this is obviously something you've been
where my girlfriend of that time has told me like, your mind scares me. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, no, just sometimes the way you think or process things, or like I never know what's going on in your head. Like it scared her, and I've been thinking about that, and I'm like, what the fuck does it mean? Yes, sometimes I can tell you what it means. Like sometimes I go into a state of very deep thought. Like me, if it comes to big decisions, I tend to like think about things before I would like go and be like, okay, listen, I've thought about this, Like I think about it for a long time. That I understand, but I've never been at a point where I've said something or acted in a way and then thought to myself, shit, maybe is this why my mind scares? Like that's never happened to me. So
your mind.
Yeah, because I was told like your mind scares me, the way you think about things.
Is that what you've been told?
Yes.
No, but that was not the question. I'm asking.
No, but
what scares you?
That is that, bro, because I don't know what the fuck that means.
Did you then hear that and then realize, okay, my mind scares me too?
No, I'm trying to figure out what is it about me or my thought process that makes
other people scared.
The other person tell me like your mind scares me.
But that was not the question. We can talk about this topic, but
that scares me, bro.
Does that scare you?
Yes.
People perceiving you like that?
Yes. Because I think when it comes back to self-awareness, why? Like, am I acting in a different way when I do this?
I'm going to tell you because I'm your friend, and I know you.
Is it because I'm cuck?
No, it's not because you cock. This is the reason why. You, a girl, is more submissive. Now, you are a very dominating force. And we as men, we're very logical, but that could be bad things as well. Because we are a little bit narcissistic. We are a little bit like, sometimes a lot, sometimes a little, depends on the guy. We are a little bit like, we want to win the argument regardless, because I'm just going to spit facts the whole time. I'm going to spit logic. And it's not always a good thing, because you just end up creating unnecessary conflict. And like, you sacrificing just the nice things of it, like the relationship, the sanctity of the relationship, to be the one in the right. Now you're gonna, like, you want to be right, but it's not necessarily worth it. Even though maybe you are right, if you have like even though you may be right, it's not always a good thing to be right all the time, because that then jeopardizes that. I was in a relationship where I had that sort of power trip, where I needed to be right all the time. And even though maybe I was right...
Is that what you're saying is my situation?
I'm saying that you are very overpowering in terms of dominating, like, logically, factually, to the type of girls you date. Because those girls, and girls in general, they're just chilling, they're like submissive, they're not that dominating, overpowering, like, I must not win, because they manipulate to win. They don't really like split facts. We manipulate as well to win, but those are like just toxic traits. I'm just saying, like, that may be why they say that, because you sort of maybe on a power trip, or just on like a dominating, like, I'm gonna win this argument, I'm gonna win this discussion. That's just how we are as humans, and these are just things we need to work on. Obviously, I've been like that too, lots of times in like a past relationship, where that's why I can sort of see the similar qualities, or like similar things. I'm like, I see.
Like, I was there. I kind
like
of
your mind
it.
scares me. Like sometimes, maybe that's why. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not what they mean at all, because I haven't spoken to that person that said your mind scares me. Maybe they mean it in a completely different way, but that's just what I think maybe their issues are.
That's based off of your experience about me.
Yeah. So luckily we guys, we chilled. We've had heated discussions and like fucking everything. Like even in that apartment that we were speaking about, we have like midnight.
You're talking about the AI conversation.
We had like midnight arguments, bro. Midnight arguments.
2 hour.
So that's how I know like we very like, we both are sort of like that, like very. We were worse back then, honestly. We were worse.
I think we're relaxed now.
We both needed to be right. But but we can check each other at least. So, but girls can't always do that, because they mostly submit.
Yeah.
So they mostly just give up. But we're not gonna give up. We're just gonna be like, no, you are you are wrong, or I'm gonna get my point across. And so maybe that's why. Okay,
so based off of that question or that answer, when it comes to you, what is something about yourself that scares you, or that you're unsure about yourself, or that you like, there's something, but fuck, you don't really know how to figure it out. So
something about me is gonna be different to that. I scare myself. My mindset. No, my mindset about certain things, certain specific things, scares me. Because then I'm like, am I ever going to be different? Am I ever going to change in that regard?
I'm with you on that as well, yeah.
You see?
Like about myself.
Like I feel a certain way about something. Will that ever change? That scares me about a specific topic. Because I obviously don't want it to be like that long term, but I've been proven time and time again. It just keeps resurfacing.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I've been trying, but it keeps resurfacing. But we working, we out here. But that scares me about myself. So
you got a little unicorn horn.
No, that's fine. I've been. You tell me now. I've been having a unicorn.
I want to say something that I've noticed about you, but obviously
me?
it might have changed. But this was when we were living together, right?
Tell me.
Because you've practiced stoicism.
Stoicness, yeah. I wouldn't know. No, I wouldn't say I've practiced.
You practice, but you've studied it, and you portray what you feel is your interpretation of.
I haven't studied being like stoicism. I haven't.
But you just consider yourself very stoic.
No, I wouldn't even say that.
Because there was one point where you would be like, "Oh wait, stoicism, bro. Just be like relaxed and calm." And
I was like that at some point. I would agree with that.
So one thing I've noticed about, and this is a discussion I had with the person I was talking about earlier, is we were talking about like you sometimes being like unemotionally reactive and stuff. And I remember the one day we were sitting at Bootleggers close to Canal Walk. We were having like we made some jokes or whatnot, and I was laughing my ass off, and you were just sitting there like, and I was like, it's not funny, and you were like, no, bro, it's fucking funny, but you just didn't laugh, and for me that was concerning. I was like, fuck, bro, like I get stoicism, but this is a bit much. This is.
I know, but I don't think that ties into stoicism. Stoicism means like you're not bothered by the bullshit. You know,
yeah,
like
but
negative,
you're also
negativity.
Yeah, you're also emotionally unreactive to certain things. And for me, that was like, but you find this funny, but you don't laugh. Is that like, have you gone down the rabbit hole too deep?
No, I don't think it's anything like that. Honestly, I don't think it's anything like I'm in a bad space, so I find, even though there's things I find funny, and I just don't laugh because I'm in a like sort of bad. It's not a bad.
Your
thing.
head's elsewhere.
Yeah, I would say I'm a guy that's mostly in my own head. Well, I'm not a guy that's back then. I would say that is quite a thing. Like I can't even remember that honestly. But now that you mention it, I can't remember that. But I would say back then, I honestly can't explain it. It is what it is. Like there was a joke. I find it funny. I just didn't laugh. It's not necessarily that I didn't find it funny. It's just I didn't show like very visually.
Yeah, for me
showcase.
in that moment, I felt like this guy's being there, like, I'm fucking stoked, bro. Like, I'm not gonna.
No. I'm literally just chilling.
But you see,
that's the only way I can describe it. Yeah. I was just chilling.
But you see, that's how when we don't see each other in a long while.
Yeah.
Like I remember the previous version of you from the last time I saw you. Now I see you this time. You act this way. So, but I mean, that's what because.
Are you saying like?
Because we don't see each other a lot. And back then I saw you like
a lot.
Like once a year, and then you
moved.
moved
to, but like after we moved out.
And then you moved to Cape Town. You moved to me, and then it was like in that first 2 weeks, and then we went to Bootleggers.
Oh, you're talking about that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
And then I was like,
I think I can put my finger on it now, because then I was just super calm and focused, bro. I was dead tired as well at the same time. I was like extremely exhausted, and just like I was really grinding hard just initially. Like I was just chilling, you know. When I moved here, I was just like in such a zone and focus. Not that I'm not like that now, but I needed to be more like that initially. So I was just like always in my own head, just planning and just next step, next move. Like I find it funny, and it's almost like I don't even have the energy to laugh, because I'm just like, I'm someone who has hyper focus. Lots of people has ADHD and they focus on multiple things. I'm someone with hyper focus. I can hyper focus.
Like lock in on one thing.
I lock in on one thing and everything else disappears. There's good things about it. There's bad things. ADHD is the same. Like hyper focus, then you focus on one thing, everything else disappears. So maybe I was focusing on something else. I was in my mind about something.
Maybe,
I was like making something. You were telling a joke, so I was a little bit focusing. The joke is funny, but I wasn't really like
registering the humor or the dopamine humorous reaction.
That's the closest I can get to explaining that. Yeah, that's the closest I can get.
I don't have hyper focus. I've got ADD.
Yeah, ADD, attention deficit disorder.
Yeah, I'm not hyperactive. I used to be when I was young.
There's a difference with the H is hyperactive.
But I mean, it's like we're sitting in a restaurant, we're talking. Next moment, I go, "Hey,
who's that Betty?"
And then we just go,
Betty with a fatty.
It just grabs my attention, and then I'm back to work. But I will say, brother, from all my friends that I have, you're the most disciplined, most consistent. I appreciate that about you, because I think
it means a lot hearing that from you.
I think in one sense it always, like when we're together, also makes me not feel shit about myself, but it makes me be like, yeah, fuck, I need to work. Like
we do try, so thank you. I humbly appreciate it.
And I appreciate you for coming on this podcast.
I thank you for having me on the podcast. And I hope that you know that a big part of my success is also because of you, and
from kicking me out of my house.
Not just that, because you have homies, you have people, you have males in your circle, which you are one of, that can keep you on a level, you know, because just motivating, like, you know, you just want to grow with your homies and you want to succeed with them, and you know you can't slack as well at the same time, because there are friends that care about you, that would want the best for you as well. And they are on their purpose as well. So what's your excuse?
Of course.
You know, so a big part of that is a big part of my success, because I do have a friend like you as well, who is similar, like, and we can support each other and motivate each other, keep each other accountable, and just try and keep each other up, you know. And even if one of us goes down, because that's life, you know, life happens, and we will always pick each other up. So because I was down bad before I came. So yeah, and then you picked me up. So lots of my success is thanks to you. So I want to say thank you
Appreciate
for that as well.
We'll talk on another session one day.
Definitely.
Once we reach new highs, new levels of success.
New highs. We're gonna. The next podcast is Big Stonks podcast.
Big Stonks podcast.
Millionaires. We're not allowed to have another podcast. Okay, we're not allowed to have another podcast until what? Something realistic.
No. Let's say in 6 months from now.
In 6 months from
we
now.
will have another podcast.
And we're not allowed to be in the same place.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Deal.
Yeah, and that's what I meant by friends like you.
Right. Don't subscribe to this YouTube.
Yeah.
Do not buy my premium.
Don't subscribe, you degenerates.
Yeah. Study the content.
You land
so
lovers.
that you don't have to pay me 100 Rand a month for premium.
Yes, just go study your trading.
And just put in the work.
We didn't even talk about trading a lot, but
Or
go study.
Or JP's going to come fuck you up.
Stick to the basics.
He's going to
guys
kill you with hammer calls.
Study your trading
Skull
content.
crushers.
And really just understand. Try and gain a deep understanding of the content in front of you. Like, don't just read and think like, oh yeah, trading lines, market structure. No, really understand why.
No, I want to say something. This is my homie. He's not in my Discord because he's got his own mission and stuff. I was like, there's no hate, man.
Of course, you know, I support Dealbreakers and everything, but you know,
you do your thing, I do my thing.
Yeah, he does his thing, I do my thing. He trades the way he trades, I trade the way I trade, you know. But we are on the same journey.
What's your favorite type of skull crusher?
My favorite type of skull crusher.
Thick thighs.
Thick thighs save lives.
All right. Cheers.
Anyways, cheers guys.